beautiful for others. Hello and namaste everyone. I'm Apeksha Ghimire, Social Media Manager at Halt Price 8 IOE. Firstly, I want to welcome each of you present here. Welcome everyone to Halt Price 8 IOE 2021 workshop on the topic Entrepreneurship Talk Series Level 4 Building for the People, supported by technical partner NREN. The Halt Prize, known as Nobel Prize for Student, is an annual year-long competition that crowdsources ideas from MBA and college students after challenging them to solve the pressing social issues around topics such as food security, water access, energy, and education. It is also the world's biggest student-centered event and crowdsourcing platform, which was started in Nepal from TU and KU in 2016. It is back in Nepal to find student prodigies on the theme Food for Good. It aims to take place in Nepal by mid-December, and the team registration for Halt Prize is already open, so register ASAP, and link is given in chat box. We have Halt Prize team with us. We have Mr. Jai Kishan Panjiar as our campus director, Mr. Vivek Malik is our deputy campus director, Mr. Sagar Shrestha is our chief correspondent, Ms. Anisha Adhikari is our media manager, Mr. Biplab Karki is our partnership and outreach manager, Mr. Anjil Vishwakarma is a graphics manager, Ms. Suprema Shrestha is a public relation manager, Mr. Nikhil Aryal is a technical manager, Mr. Vishal Bashal is a marketing manager, Ms. Tunisa Gawali is a sponsorship manager, Miss Divaka Batra is a event manager, and they are our passionate core team of Halt Prize 8 IOE. And likely campus representative from each college are, we have Mr. Ravin Ghimire from Himalaya College of Engineering, Mr. Navin Joshi from Advanced College of Engineering and Management. We have Ms. Sivani Karna from Lalitpur Engineering College, Ms. Nivedika Pokhrel from Kantipur Engineering College, Dapakhel, Ms. Dhartishri Shrestha from Katpur International College of Engineering and Management, Mr. Shaugat Pandey from Thapathali Engineering Campus, Mr. Prajwal Adhikari from Chitwan Engineering Campus, and Ms. Megha Mashke from Kathmandu Engineering College. We all know that events won't be successful without partners. So I will take a moment to announce our supportive partners. We have Halt Prize at BZTU, Bagmati UNESCO Club, and NPSORT is our community partner. We have Thought for Food is our exclusive idea partner. We have Center for Cyber Security Research and Innovation is our innovation partners. We have eTech Sansar, Events NP, Tech Panna, ICT Byte, DeWitt News, ICT Frame, Tech Patru, and Tech Sati is our media partners. Likely we have One Cover and NREN is our technical partners, and we have Dafe Wholesome Store is our shopping partners. Like a Bada Dasai Bada Dhamaka, we have organized the biggest pre-event of Halt Prize at IOE on campus program with 13 national international speakers. So now I'm going to announce our facilitator. Today we have 4 speakers with us for the panel discussion. We have Mr. Scott Marshall Brandon from Phoenix, Arizona is our facilitator. He is known internationally as speaker and author on the role of imagination, creativity, and innovation in commerce, culture, and education. Previously served for 2 decades as Executive Director of Lincoln Center Institute. Scott is also a researcher of system theory and how interaction and transaction coexist across functions. So he is also already here with us. You are welcome, sir. It's so wonderful to see you here.
Well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are.
Great. Thank you. I am more than honored. It's late. It's early in the morning here. So I apologize if I'm a little sleep deprived, but thank you for the opportunity. I'm thrilled, I'm honored. It's rare that you have an opportunity to talk to people from around the world about commonly held beliefs and views. I've always said that I'm a pragmatic optimist. I'm not just an optimist, I'm a pragmatic optimist. And by that, I mean, I always believe that things are possible, but to make it possible, I have to study and understand what is, what's true, what's real. So in that spirit, I am here with you today to talk about my work, to talk about what's hopefully passionate and important to you. So with that, open any questions or whatever format would work best.
I will be doing later. And thank you so much, sir. Lastly, we have Mr. Saurabh Jyoti, a well-known figure in business sector with us. He is leading businessman in Nepal. He is the director of Jyoti Group of Companies and the chairman of Cycle Trading Company, authorized distributors of Honda automobiles. Saurabh Jyoti epitomized the life of a man obsessed with automobiles, owner and collector of some of the best four-wheelers and two-wheelers in town. He has a befitting occupations which has led him to further take his obsession to the next level. He is also here with us. You are welcome, sir.
नमस्कार सबै विजयादशमीको
Hello.
शुभकामना छ Hello Scott, hello everyone, Jinji. I'm glad to be on this platform to be able to talk to you all during this auspicious festival season in Nepal, Dasai. So I'm wishing everyone a happy festive season, but take care, stay safe, and look forward to interacting with you in this session and sharing my experience with entrepreneurship and business in Nepal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, and happy Vijayadashami to you too. Now we have Aparna Joshi Khandwala from Mumbai as our speaker. She has expertise in the people's aspect of the business. She has 18 plus years of experience in strategic human resource solutions. She has developed and implemented HR solutions across several diverse sectors: HR, consulting, architecture, hospitality, travel, and non-profit. Her experience with the social sector lead her to look at solution from the bottom up, in contrast to the traditional top-down approach. She has already joined us, and heartily welcome, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be on this platform with such lovely, wonderful people from varied backgrounds and across the globe. Like Mr. Saurabh Jyoti rightly mentioned, greetings to everybody for the festive season, and I look forward to being part of the rest of the session. Thank you.
So much, ma'am. And our last speaker for the panel discussions is Jinji Chu from China. Jinji is currently working as the media manager in the operation department of MyHumi in China, a social platform for students studying in China, having more than 30,000 users from more than 200 universities. She has almost 2 years of experience in online influencer business and live stream e-commerce, even for cross-border nature. She's also here with us. You are welcome, ma'am.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. How are you guys? I'm Jinzi from China, and it's about 4 p.m. right here. And yeah, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone. It's a great honor. It's a great honor for me to be here because actually I've just been graduated this year, and I think I'm pretty young among you guys. And it will be my pleasure to hear from you guys, and hope you guys can take advice from me. And yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The panel discussions will be moderated by our partnership and outreach manager, Mr. Biplab Karki. Hello, Biplab, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Apeksha. So, warm welcome to everyone. I'm Biplab Karki. I'm the partnership and outreach manager at Alt Price 2021, the technical manager at NextGen, and the CEO and co-founder at Innovatex Private Limited, Nepal's creative problem-solving agency. So, I look forward to moderate this session, and I see my lovely panelists already here. So, without further delay, because it's all are in tight schedule of time, maybe we can start with our panel discussion. So, let me start with our first panelist. Mr. Scott Brandon. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invite in such a late night too. So I guess let's start with the very basic question before anything. Like, you have been experienced in various kinds of field, including education, innovation, as an author, even as an entrepreneur. So can you like summarize your long decade of journey in short manner so that that can be inspiration to all the youths listening?
Thank you. So you're asking me to take many years and compress it down, but I'll do my best. I'd like to start with a suggestion, if I may. And the suggestion is, I always imagine when I'm having conversations, whether it's through Zoom or in person, and with COVID, obviously, more and more online, but I always try to imagine that there's this third grade girl sitting and listening to our conversation. And why do I pick that? I pick that because it's the future we're always talking about. Whether it's my future, or your future, or the world's future, it's always the future we're talking about, today, tomorrow. And I pick a third grade girl because third grade is an age where young people are starting to mature into a different part of life, less dependent upon family and friends, more dependent upon community and society in general. And I also pick a girl because we usually pick boys. And I say that because I think part of our discussion also has to be about women in leadership, not just leadership in general, but women in leadership. I don't say it because I want to minimize it. I say it because I think it's a very important part of any conversation looking toward the future. So to answer your question, to address your question, I ask a lot of questions. I've always asked a lot of questions. I believe in questions. I believe that questions are the most important tool that one can have. Not questions to belittle or questions to minimize, but questions, I've always said, everything I do should be not to prove or disprove, but to improve. It's to help improve whatever structure or whatever situation I'm involved in. And the reason that's so important is that in the journey that we all take, the journey is filled with a certain amount of otherness, corruption, ego, greed, all these things that are part of our lived experience. And you can't make them, you can't wish them away. But what you have to do is say, I'm on the side of change. I'm on the side of development. I'm on the side of progress. I'm on the side of honesty. I'm on the side of directness. I'm on the side of curiosity. And if you can keep those at the center of what you do by being curious, the artist Cezanne once said, your eyes see the front of a painting, but imagination curves to the other side. And if you think about it, it's always looking for not what you just see, but what you don't see, what your mind can help create, what is possible. So to answer your question, I believe what's been the route to my success is I'm not afraid of failure. I believe in failing well, not avoiding failure, but failing well. Always looking toward what's possible as a result of it, learning from it, believing in your own voice. It's not as easy as one hoped that it would be. And as I said, that you're always there looking for failure as a condition of success, not failure as a condition of being defeated, but as a condition of success. And as we talk more, I will talk more about my beliefs about imagination as it relates to creativity, as it relates to innovation, which is the work I've been doing for many, many, many years, both as an author, as a director, as a strategist, and as a consultant.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So maybe I could move to Saurabh Jyoti, sir. So like as everyone knows, like he's known as the leading business tycoon of our country, and Jyoti Group is like the best of 3 generations in our country. So like what can you say, like what is the reason behind the successful journey of Jyoti since a long decades or say behind generation? Can you like elaborate behind it, the success journey of Jyoti Group and yourself?
Thank you, Biplav. So firstly, I think seeing the situation in Nepal, Scott said that he was a pragmatic optimist, but seeing the political, economic situation in Nepal, and now with this global pandemic and Nepal being now the hotspot and increasing, I used to be a hopeless optimist, but now I've slowly become a cautious optimist, but optimist nonetheless. And I think something that Scott has been talking about, and I want to take it forward, and then I'll get into my family businesses, about failure. I think failure is a part of success. But the only thing that I urge the young people to is not be scared to fail. Fail, but not just learn from your failures, but I always believe in working smarter than working harder. So don't try and fail yourself, because failing is an inevitable part of success. But rather than failing yourself, learn from the failures of others, because there are plenty of, in whatever sector, whatever business you want to divulge into, you want to start the business, there are a lot of people who have been there, done that, especially in terms of mentorship. Get a mentor, and a mentor to guide you so that you can learn from the failures that he's already made. So when you learn from the failures of others rather than failing yourself, the learning curve and the success, the timeline for the success of your business becomes substantially shorter. Coming to family business, of course, I have been fortunate to have the platform of a family business, and it's a third generation family business. We're into diverse groups, starting from, of course, as you mentioned, we do Honda automobiles, but we also do farm, agricultural equipments, electronics. We're into e-commerce. We're into online learning, which I think Jinzi would be more experienced in this field. Jinzi said she is the youngest, but I think Jinzi, we're not that old. I think we're also young at heart. So I think we can relate to you. And we are into service sector, hospitality, hospitals, and industries, of course, where we manufacture steel. The point is, I think the traditional family businesses, how we started off was because of the instability in the policies, and the policies that change with every government forced a lot of businesses in Nepal to have a finger in each pie, in each sector. So that some sectors policies change frequently with the government, or even with the same government, the policies change frequently. So other businesses used to compensate. But slowly now we've come a long way. Now from the Civil War, we've become, we had a constituent assembly, and now we're a federal democratic republic. And we have a stable government for 5 years and a relatively more stable policies for economic development. And despite what people say, it's a small country, there are no opportunities in Nepal. If you see the World Bank report in 2018, it shows Nepal as the third fastest growing economy after Ethiopia and Uzbekistan. We have the GDP growth rate was over around 7.1%, so which is quite a phenomenal growth rate. So there are a lot of opportunities in Nepal, and it's not a small country. We are 29 million people. And most importantly, not just 29 people, over 60% of the population of these 29 people are young people. And 51% of the population are women. So I think we're talking about inclusive growth, shared prosperity, and that is what Jyoti Group has always believed in. Inclusive growth and shared prosperity, which we still share. The company philosophy, the company vision and mission believes that, of course, you need to be successful. You need to make profits. But to be successful, you have to take care of your employees. Help them learn, help them grow, help them become successful. So once your employees are taken care of, they take care of your customers. Once your customers are well taken care of, your organization grows, becomes more profitable. But alone, you cannot grow. So you have to give back to the society and work with the society for the inclusive growth of society and then the nation at large. So as you expand this way, your growth, your sustainability of your business growing further, becoming bigger, not just having the biggest slice of the pie, but making the pie itself bigger. So that is something that we believe, and also the core belief that we need first to invest in Nepal, promote Nepalese products and services, do our expertise here, and certain niche products we can export. But made in Nepal is a very important concept, and self-reliability, because in these times of COVID, as you know, no one is going to help us. Each country is having their own crisis. So how can we be self-reliant? I think we'll talk about in the next question about food sector, agriculture sector. You were talking about food is good. So I think that is something that is very important. I'll touch upon later. We have energy and of course the infrastructure that we need to build. But these are all hard infrastructure. We are also talking about the soft infrastructure, which are the young people with the skill sets, with the will to do something. The will, they are the change makers for the future. They are the future, because youth are not just the leaders of the future. The youth are the leaders of today and tomorrow. So I think that in that aspect, I think I would like to take the discussion forward, and in the further questions, I can elaborate a little bit more about business in Nepal. Thank you, Biplab.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really inspiring to all the youths. So yeah, so let me move to Aparna ma'am. So she has joined us direct from Mumbai, India. So as all of us know that you have been into the HR and management thing from a long time, and this is the most important thing that youths require. They lack a lot in management and HR based things. So can you like elaborate your experience as well as about your Always Spark and all those things?
Sure. Okay, so thank you once again. All I can say is, so I started this very enriching journey in human resources almost 20 years back. And typically, I graduate, joined the HR department as a junior executive, slowly, steadily moved to a manager. And that's what gave me exposure to every aspect on the people side of business. And what I'd like to say, very early in my career, and my mentor and my ex-boss, she told me, she said, if you really want to be successful, Aparna, you have to understand the core of the business. So don't think you're only an HR person. You have to understand what's the core to our business. And the second most important thing she told me is that it's your job to ensure that people's skills are optimally used throughout the employee life cycle within the company. So typically, right, when in any organization joins, has some joining formalities, will undergo some basic orientation, works, undergoes performance management process. So typically understanding how at every juncture can you optimize people skills for the organization. And then having worked very closely with the founders and directors, it also gave me a very unique exposure of being a part of this. We started off as an organization called MAHR, and eventually we got acquired by one of the largest HR services companies in the world by the name of Rand. I was a part of the team that is discussing strategy, how does the integration happen. It was an acquisition that happened. So I think brilliant exposure, and also importing their HR systems within India at that point. It's almost been like 10 years now. Eventually I moved on. Moved on from there, did some freelance work in HR, joined the non-profit sector. And I think that's what gave me a sense of how important purpose is, while working in the corporate space. You tend to constantly be, like you're in this almost like a cycle of things. You wake up in the morning, you get ready, go to work, spend 8-10 hours, come back, sleep, get up in the morning again, go back to work. So non-profit space sort of shifted my focus quite a bit more on the purpose and what you're doing and how things need to be done. And I was lucky because HR being a very neutral function, you're able to apply that to the non-profit space. Again, given my background, I was able to do that easily sense. And later I decided to enter the field of HR advisory, which offered me the opportunity to give back everything that I had learned and also look at human resources in a very, very new perspective. And that's how we started Yellow Spark, in fact, with three initial thoughts that came to our mind. The first was that we thought every person is unique and every person has a unique spark which is ready to be ignited. The second thing that came to our mind, we were discussing about Yellow Spark and how we should really go about doing our business, was about how every employee deserves to work in a good work environment. And me and my co-founder, we were very lucky to have worked with people who really groomed us to who we are. And last and the most important thing was about every organization needing good people. Every they always talk about, we want people who are good, who can work hard, who can contribute, who are proactive. Three things is what was on our mind, and that's how our vision, I think, emerged. And with these thoughts, we said, why not help organizations to create compelling ecosystems which people aspire to be a part of. So typically about 5 to 6 years back, we started with this vision. And I'm glad that we've been able to work across different sectors, work with different entrepreneurs of different age groups. It's been a brilliant journey. And as an organization, Yellow Spark, we work with management teams to help them resolve their most pressing HR challenges, or sometimes come up with new people related initiatives. And like it was mentioned in the introduction, I work across diverse set of industries on different projects, developing HR policies, processes, designing, performance management systems, training programs, behavioral trainings, doing a lot of focus on leadership engagement and development, teamwork, customer focus. We've also developed our skills in the area of prevention of sexual harassment at workplaces. So we are on committees in different organizations with different stakeholders. So it's been a fantastic journey. I think what is required for, especially for youngsters to take cognizance of is the fact that you have to understand why you want to get into something. Like, don't get into a job just because, okay, there's an opportunity and I need the job, so I'm getting started. So you have to relate to what is it that you want to do in life. Does that relate to what I'm going to take up? So that it doesn't become a mundane activity. You're able to really contribute in the right way and apply your skills. So yeah, on that note, I'd like to pause. Maybe we'll take the conversation forward, and I'm sure there'll be more questions coming my way, so we'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. So I guess now I can move to Jinji. So like with a certain introduction, Jinji, can you like explain about the online influencer based things and media things you have been doing in China, and also because of COVID, like the online media has been increasing a lot and China is still leading. So can you just say in short what things you have been involved?
Yeah, actually, I think it's within our generations, maybe people who is, I'd say like Z generations or Alpha generations, social media has been playing a great deal in our life, of course. And in China, especially in China, because China, our economy has been booming for within maybe like 20 or 30 years. So it's easy for people to adopt, new shopping habits. And then I guess like online shopping is not a new word, but live streaming shopping may be a new word.
I think she's talk.
Froze.
Yeah. So I guess she'll be. uh, I think we can take her later when she gets back again. So because the time is not so flexible to us. So let's move to Scott, sir. So yeah, like as you explained that you are an optimist. So because of your optimism, maybe you have done some miracles in the world of business. Like you have the best author of business books. You have even created an ICI algorithm.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Can you like elaborate about all those ICI based things so that that
sure,
can be helpful to
sure.
us?
Yeah. To me, I'm as you started with, and as I spoke about, I'm very interested in how do you create the culture, whether it's in commerce, culture, or itself, or education, for imaginative thinking. There was a study done, many of you may have seen it, years ago by IBM, which was an international study of business leaders. And the question that was asked, what do you look for in employees? And the answer was we look for critical and creative thinkers. There were other attributes that were being looked at, but critical and creative thinkers. The problem with that is if you also go to the business schools, Harvard Business Schools, any of the business schools, and you look at the case studies, there's case study after case study of businesses, cultures within businesses not doing well or not thriving, let's say, because they haven't figured out how to actually develop, inculcate, and inhabit that creative and critical perspective. So the research has shown over the years that what we say we want and what we work to develop educationally, socially, and even sometimes within families is not always consistent with what we want the end to be. So in my work, I was very lucky. I was mentored by a brilliant educator, philosopher, Dr. Maxine Green, who was at Teachers College, Columbia. And she wrote about social imagination, how to help people, societies, think and act more imaginatively. I got interested in that and said, well, if we're going to look at that, we have to look at that through not only the lens of culture and society, we have to look at that through the lens of commerce. Because as much as I believe in education and culture, it's ultimately commerce that drives the economic base, if not ultimately the social base of a society. So I came up with, and it became the premise of the book that my co-author and I wrote that you mentioned, Imagination First, which was the top 1% of all business books for 2 years. And we didn't write it, by the way, to be a business book. We wrote it to be a book about human development and ideas. And to our joy, it was acknowledged and accepted by the business community. So there are 3 terms that I'd like to present within it: imagination, creativity, and innovation. Every company, if you accept what I said before about IBM, all companies want innovation. How could you not want innovation? It's part of what drives the business cycle. It's part of what drives human development. My argument is you have to backward map it from innovation back through creativity, start with imagination. So to me, imagination is the capacity to think of things as if they could be otherwise, to ask the what if question, to seek what's possible. But it's pre-action. It's not something that you're acting on. And it's also not dreams per se. It's not fantasy per se. It's actually somewhere between an art and a science, because it's very much based on perception and empathy and how we take in information, how we process it, how we cognate it. Creativity is taking the elements of a discipline, whatever the discipline is, whatever it is you do, and using that toward a new end. But to be imaginative, to be creative without being imaginative doesn't mean you're actually going to create things that are unique and useful. I've spent a lot of time, I've helped start between for-profits and nonprofits, I think 18 different businesses in my life. And often you meet people who are really excellent at execution or doing something, but there's a lacking in it. There's something that isn't quite living up to its potential. That's where imagination and creativity come together in my mind. Innovation is the productive output of that. Not everything creative is innovative. It has to change the form or the field in some way. So if you accept those or use those as definitions, I think it starts with imagination. I think that imagination is that algorithmic human potential that's within all of us. It's part of our DNA, whether you say it's nature created or God created. It's what we're born with. It's almost akin to the capacity for language. We learn to speak, but not everybody becomes a poet. Some people are barely literate, and some people are hyper literate. Some people understand multiple languages. Some people become expressive in multiple languages. It's not that different from that capacity. It's how we develop it and how we see its importance. And once again, there isn't a business that I've studied over these years. And I just moved back to Phoenix, as you mentioned. I was lucky enough to spend 25 years in Manhattan working at one of the epicenters of commerce and culture. And I just moved here from Silicon Valley after spending almost 4 years working in the healthcare and business community in Silicon Valley. And what I just said, I think stands, you see a lot of organizations that are successes, but if you scratch the surface, what you start to see is a lot of people who have been at things for 10 to 15 years, we joke that it's a 10 to 15 year overnight success. But there's very few things that happen quickly without that kind of imaginative capacity building to creativity, to innovation. The message within that is be dogged, be curious, be patient. One of my other mentors always said, it's not that he never lied. It's not that he was morally against lying. It's just so damn hard to remember. So in that spirit, try to be direct, try to be honest, try to be truthful, not only to yourself, but to others. Because you will never remember all the things that you've said and done unless you're speaking truth to self and truth to power. And last but not least, if you're imaginative and you think that way and act that way, you're by definition become more empathetic. Because to be imaginative means to think of things as if they could be otherwise, to ask that what if question. And to do that, that's how you understand empathetically what others experience. And it's only through that experience of that experience that you can take in the kind of information that you need to work toward that kind of innovation. As I said, I don't think it's easy, but the benefits of exploring yourself in relationship to other, if you think of it as we're all humans who stand straight, we stand tall, and the world is above us, the world is on all sides of us. It's when we start to lean, it's when we start to rely on otherness, when we start to need something to help keep us supported, that we're counterbalanced. And counterbalance is actually where new possibilities happen. It doesn't just happen when we're balanced, it happens when we're starting to be off balance and starting to be counterbalanced, because we need each other, we're dependent upon each other. We quite literally are the bridge or the base for each other. And if you can create that, that's incredibly imaginative. It's incredibly human. It's incredible. It's what pragmatic optimism ultimately is. It's about believing what's possible and trying to find the bridge to it.
Yeah, thank you so much for such a wonderful inspiration to youth so that they can apply those things in their life and maybe in their businesses and startups. So I think Jinji was just arrived there, so maybe she can continue what she was speaking before. So Jinji, can
Okay,
you hear me?
guys. Yeah, I can. Sorry for my disconnection. I appreciate what Scott shares. I think your speech has been kind of inspired me a lot. Okay, so for your inquiry about online marketing and live streaming business, I've just mentioned with China, our economic has been booming within only 20 or 30 years. So it's actually very easy for people to adopt new shopping habits. But I'm sure you guys have been familiar with online shopping a lot. But in China, it has been moved into a more kind of higher level. It's live streaming. So what is live streaming? Just take, I think, Instagram or Facebook as an example, because you guys may be familiar with that. It's like you take one commodity in front of you and then you introduce it. It's as easy as that. But if it's like a business kind of vision, if I talk about it, it would be much more integrated. So in our company, actually, we run recruitment to commercial integration with a lot of clients, and then if they show their interest in collaborating with us, we will say like talk to those influencers or celebrities and then make them into our potential live streamers. Yeah, so this is what basically live streaming is about. But if it's the whole industry is only based on e-commerce. So if it's without e-commerce, live streaming is, it's actually it won't happen. So I think with the global vision, it's going to be a hot trend because it has been so successful in China. The whole industry, maybe they have been reached about billions of dollars within just a year, the whole profit. So within a global vision, it's going to be a hot trend, of course, especially with this pandemic still going on. People are they're living at home, they're staying at home a lot, and online shopping, and it's happening a lot. So I think, well, for young people who has the intention, or who has the intention, or they are interested in the industry, I would highly recommend this, jobs or positions or opportunities. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Benji. So as he said, e-commerce is the booming thing, because the only good thing pandemic did is boom the e-commerce industry, we can say that. So so I think now we can move to Saurabh sir. So I just wanted to have a relative, a youth-based thing, a youth-based question. Like they always ask this thing to most of the big people, that how can we measure that we are really successful? Is it like if you have a big car, big house, or say a big office, then they call themselves as a successful, or a big bank balance? So you being a successful person, how do you define a success? Mostly from the youth's perspective, how do you suggest them when they ask you what really is success?
I think there is no such thing as a big person or a small person. I think the biggest value that anyone needs to have to be successful is humility. Humility is something that is a value that should be inculcated in all our personal lives. So whether you are dealing with a king of a nation, whether you're dealing with a prime minister, or whether you're dealing with your employee or someone who's working on your shop floor, you should have the same respect for that person. So I think dignity of labor and humility is a very, very important quality. Nowadays, it's not just about education and having degrees, but it's also about improving your soft skills. Soft skills is in terms of your people skills, how you deal with people. I would even go to the extent of saying moral science nowadays, which is missing a lot, how we deal with people, and how we're able to motivate people, how we communicate and motivate people. Because alone, it's very difficult to achieve anything. You just have one head and two hands. But if you can communicate, you can motivate people to work towards your vision and objectives, you will have hundreds of heads and hundreds of thousands of hands. And then you can realize your dreams, make your dreams a reality with the help of your team. So that is very important. Also, I think inspiration and motivation is overrated because one day you are inspired, 1 week you are inspired, in a month, a few days of a month you are inspired or motivated. But you cannot be inspired or motivated every day. So the point is to make a habit. They say it takes 21 days to make a habit, and if you continue that habit for a month or longer, or 2 to 3 months, it becomes a lifestyle. So I think discipline, habits and disciplines make a difference. Whatever goals you want to achieve, whatever plans you have, please be disciplined. Motivation doesn't last, inspiration doesn't last. But if you're disciplined and you maintain your discipline day in, day out, and work towards your dreams, step by step, inch by inch moving forward, I think that makes a huge difference. So I think these are some things that we really need to work towards. I think young people are always in the back seat, even now, especially with the context to Nepal. The future is being decided. Who is the future for? First, let's be clear on that. Who will the future impact? The young people. The future is for the young people. But who is deciding on which direction, how the future will be? Our so-called youth leaders, I'm not just talking about the political youth leaders who are 60, 70 years old and still call themselves youth leaders. We're still babies, you know. So They are deciding the future for the young people. It is our future. So we need to now take the leadership and shape the future that we want to see. We are no more in the back seat. We need to be in the driving seat now. So we need to take that leap of faith. We have to have that paradigm shift where youth leadership, I'm not just talking about politics, I'm talking about every sector, whether it's professionals, whether it's entrepreneurs, whether it's business, whether it's service sector, whether it's health sector. And there's tremendous opportunities in all these sectors. So I think the youth have to come out. I think we are generally always, the few vocal minority are ruling a silent majority. So we need to speak out for what we believe in and make that difference. And what is success? I think success for me is, you always see people who are successful, but even personally, few of my businesses could be a success. I've started 10 businesses in the last 10 years, but 6 to 7 of them have failed. Only 3 have succeeded, but people only see the success story. They don't see the failures. That's why I say, always look at the failures, learn from the failures, not just from your own failures, but as I said, from the failures of others, so that you can grow faster. So I think this is a huge opportunity for the young people to move forward, because success is relative. If you fail, you get up, you move on. Even if you succeed, don't let it get to your head. Pat yourself on the back and move on. So you just need to keep moving on. Because if you ask me personally, I don't think I'm successful. I have achieved few things that I wanted in life, but I still have a long way to go. But actual measure of success is if you are able to make a difference. If you are able to make a difference in the lives of others, if you are able to make lives easier for others, whether it's a product or a delivery, whether that is making a difference in their lives. So that difference defines you. That difference you'll be remembered for. That change, even after you're long gone, people will remember you for the change that you made in their lives. So I think when you talk about business, entrepreneurship, think of products like these. Of course, right now, as you said, as Jinzi said, huge opportunity for Nepal. Digital economy is a $3 trillion industry. And we were always, Nepal, should we go online or not? Even personally, my business, I was thinking, okay, these few businesses, I'll go online this year. Rest of the businesses, my e-commerce platforms, my sales delivery, my logistics, online logistics, I'll do it next year. But due to the pandemic, we have to, by force, we have to move. So that has fast-tracked, and that is an advantage for us. E-commerce, logistics, e-learning, online professions, software developers, bloggers, data analysts, there is huge opportunity because that sector has boomed. Look at Jeff Bezos. He's overtaken Elon Musk and Bill Gates put together. His net worth now is 204 billion. Look at Alibaba, Jack Ma, almost 50 billion, his net worth. Even in Nepal, we have services like eSeva, Daraj, which has been bought out by Alibaba Group. We have Smart Doko. Of course, these are going to do well because as Jinzi said, now we have to learn to live with COVID. I don't think there is a post-COVID scenario as of now. We have to learn to live with COVID. And as Jinzi mentioned, the way we live, the way we think, the way we do business has changed. Everything is going online, whether it's learning, e-commerce platforms, business platforms. For me, from my ice cream deliveries to delivery of Honda cars and motorcycles to oxygen, everything, medical oxygen, we are doing online now. We were always thinking whether we should go or not. But with the pandemic, we jumped in because we were losing business. We had no other choice. And that is turning out to be a more efficient, a more safer way for people, people's behavioral pattern, their buying habits, and even the cost comes down. Imagine you have a product which you have a showroom in Darbar Marg, 100 rupee product, 50 rupees is rent. So you're selling it at 150 rupees. But on an online platform, the same product, you can avoid that high rent cost. Maybe just the logistic cost can be 10 rupees. So the same product from Darbar Marg, which you're buying, which is the prime street in Nepal, the main downtown street, just for Scott and Jinzi. So the cost of the rent comes down and you can sell it for 110 against 150. So I think that is something that all online platforms, the younger people who are more tech savvy, and Nepal has that enabling environment for the IT infrastructure, for digital economy to go, because our internet penetration is very good. Compared to the region, we are one of the highest internet penetrations, and mobile penetration is over 110%. So I think this is the future. And personally, as you say, Jyoti Group right now, this is the third generation, and most of our companies are over 50 years old, and Jyoti Group itself is 54 years old. So we've taken 54 years and 3 generations to reach a certain level of success or goodwill that we have. But with this fourth industrial revolution, which is the digital economy, you don't need to take 54 years anymore. You can have 10x growth, and 10x faster you can grow. So within 5 to 10 years, you can be as big as the conservative family businesses, traditional family businesses took 5 decades to grow. You can grow in 1 decade. So that is the beauty of the digital economy. And I think you have the power now to make that change because of the advancements in technology that are available right now. So please utilize this and make a change. Because I think for a Facebook or a WhatsApp or Candy Crush to come out of Nepal is possible. There's no geographical boundaries. If you have an app, if you have a program, if you have a platform or a software that makes business easier, not just in Nepal, there are no geographical boundaries in a digital economy. You can go global. So why aren't we having the next Facebook from Nepal, or the WhatsApp from Nepal, or Zoom for that matter? So I think that's the future. And we have tremendous potential and talented young people in Nepal. And we need to now take Nepal to the world.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really inspiring to all the youths around here. So since you mentioned about all those ideas things, so I'd like to quickly move towards Aparna ma'am, that the biggest challenge of like having idea is not a difficult thing, I feel so, but having a great team is the difficult challenge. You have been experienced with various kind of people around your businesses, youths and youngs. So what do you suggest to the youths who have an idea but don't have a team or don't have a good team?
From my perspective, so actually, yeah, I've mentioned that I just graduated this year, but within all the 4 years in my college, I've been trying a lot. I've been doing online influencing business, of course, but I've been doing modeling agencies and then a lot of other, jobs as well. So for youth or startups, who has been trying a lot, I would say keep trying, just keep trying, because with this pandemic going on, we have been shut down by a lot of chances, but actually we've been seeing a lot of new things coming up, like also like live streaming and influence in business, one of them. And I'll take one example. One of my clients, it's a home tool company, and their sales have been like booming in this pandemic because people stayed at home, and then a lot of people would buy home use tools to just stay at home and DIY all of these houses, and then do gardening stuff. So this is actually a good or state like a new perspective that you just have to dig out what's been new or what's been going on with the world, because even though there are chances shut down, with these COVID going on, you still can dig out a lot of new perspective on your business. And then so for like a personally advice, I would say know what you're doing, because even though maybe with this world you have to face a lot of difficulties and obstacles, especially when you're young, but still know what you're doing and know what you're good at, and don't be afraid to try new things. Always keep trying. Yes, that would be my advice.
Yeah, so Aparna ma'am, so can you continue about the same question?
I'm sorry.
Sure. Sorry, there's some issue with
Oh,
the camera. So the
uh,
camera is not coming on. I'm not sure what the issue is. I'll have to check again.
that's
But
fine. You
yeah,
can
to
just
answer your
speak up.
question, yes, I will speak. So to talk about your question with regards to, how really youths contribute towards business. So see, every business is there. They're offering a unique product, unique service, primarily targeted to solve a problem of their customer. And in day-to-day, work in business, there are bills to be paid, there are people to be managed, there are so many things that go into running of a business, right? So sometimes the management teams do get really caught up in addressing these things, and there's very little time to innovate or come up to speed with the changing circumstances. I think that's where the youths come into the picture, and the way in which youths, I would say, can contribute is by bringing in fresh perspectives, bringing out ground realities of the changing environment, because they are the ones who are early adopters. You see today the number of youngsters who are online commenting, watching videos, they are the consumers. So they obviously understand the perspectives from the other side, and that's what they can bring back to the business. And I think the best part is the energy and the zeal that they bring in to the work environment. So if this energy is not recognized by businesses and it's not directed or channeled in the right direction, it can prove to be very costly. So for business as well, you need to understand that you need to be extremely mindful about their teams, about the needs of their teams, staying connected through regular communication. There shouldn't be a disconnect just because there is some sort of an age barrier. So I think that barrier really needs to be broken down. And at the end of the day, management teams are responsible to provide direction to the organization. So being in leadership roles, they are the true custodians of the culture. So the toughest challenge always is to manage scale while maintaining the values and the culture. So, that balance really has to be maintained. And I can give you an example of a very large global organization called Zoho, which is an Indian company. And this organization is an IT firm. They offer end-to-end software solutions globally. And one of the unique things they have as a part of their culture is, allowing their people to enhance and develop their entrepreneurship while they're working within Zoho. And that's unique, right? Because today, if you're in business and you're hiring people who have an inclination to be entrepreneurs themselves, there's always some sort of a perceived threat of some know-how or some intellectual property going out of your organization. But these guys have been they've managed to develop a culture where you can actually be within the organization, develop your entrepreneurial skills, move on, and set up your own business and be very successful at it. So I think there has to be a balance between the management and people who are working within an organization to offer those kind of opportunities. And only when an organization hires the right people and nurtures the passion is when the real balance, and I think the real success will be, because not just is the organization successful, but even the people working there are going to be successful. So I would say that yes, there's a lot that we're expecting out of youngsters, but there has to be a balance between what the management is putting out there as opportunities to the youngsters and how the youngsters contribute. So I think that's the point that I'd like to make. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. So, as I've been noticed, like we're running short of time. So, let's get to the main or the core theme of the event, like food for good. So, to each of the panelists, I'd like to present their views in terms of entrepreneurship and especially the food entrepreneurship, so that anyone within the competition as well as the startups planning to move towards the food and sustainable business would be inspired. So, Scott, sir.
Um, when COVID started, I decided that I would do an experiment. I would do some research. And um, uh, since I talk about imagination, one of the key elements of imagination is diversity, thought diversity, age diversity, gender diversity, learning style diversity. Um, so I decided to pick up on something that I did while I was at Lincoln Center. And I conducted a series of what I called imagination conversations. And I brought together thought leaders from across professions to talk about the role of imagination in their personal and professional life. They were sponsored by governors, business leaders around the United States. We did 60 of them, reached well over 8 million people through social media and direct connections. So pre-COVID, I was thinking, what's needed right now? And from my humble perspective, we need civic dialogue. We need a dialogue that allows us to be able to hear each other, not a dialogue where we speak over each other or try to outwit each other, a dialogue where we're trying to find constructive outcomes. So I looked at my LinkedIn at that time and said, who do I know? Who influences me? And that's a very important question for me. Who influences my thinking? So I looked at my Rolodex, my LinkedIn, and I realized I had about 2,700 people at the time. I decided that I would use the concept of 6 degrees of separation, that I know somebody who knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and through that I can connect quite literally to anyone, anywhere around the world. Fast forward 6 months, I'm now up to about 11,000 people on LinkedIn. And the reason it's relevant is that I now can say I have a whole different database, if you will. I have a whole different influencer base behind me. So I started looking at LinkedIn as a research tool, not just as a Rolodex, but as a way to start growing that value set. Through that, one of the projects that came my way, and had I not done that on LinkedIn, once again, expanded my network of networks using 6 degrees of separation. I was introduced, you may know the story of Sudan and the lost boys of Sudan. There was civil war in Sudan. The number of young males traveled and traveled and traveled until they were able to rest, quite literally. Some of them were brought to other countries. One gentleman in particular ended up in the United States, and I've recently met him online. Once again, without that, I would have never met him. He's decided to go back to Sudan, South Sudan, and build water wells for people in South Sudan. His journey is that he has these hand-cranked water wells that they're developing all over South Sudan. The problem is that the girls, the females, were the ones that had to travel to get to the water before they started to build these water wells. So what you had was, females within the society who literally had no access to education, and males who were quite literally stuck working in activities that were not helping them progress. And besides that, the water wasn't that healthy. So here he's gone back home and he's developing these water wells. Well, we're starting to work with him and others, not just in South Sudan, but also in Pakistan and India and other parts of the world. And we're trying to look at how to build that out as an ecosystem, how to develop an ecosystem of change within that culture. So one of the things we're doing is we're looking at, and this addresses the food question, we're looking at, well, water is quite possibly the new oil in terms of politics. It's an incredibly political discussion in many parts of the world. Here, it's political because quite literally they cannot live a healthy life without it, but they also were hindered in all things they were doing as a result of it. So we're working with how to build solar-based water plants where the water can not only be used not only for consumption, but also to be able to build schools, to be able to build infrastructure, and to be able to develop sustainable farms. So just from that journey, that lost boy has gone back and he's asked that essential question of, how do I take this platform and build it out so that the very effort of creating water, having access to clean water, opens up this vast array of other possibilities. So if we can create these micro finance systems, these efforts to sell water at a very affordable price for people who don't have water wells, so they don't have to travel. But if you can also use it to start building schools, because now the girls don't have to walk 8 hours a day, quite literally, to get the water. But the question we're addressing now is, how do you use it for development? How do you use it for economic development? And while it's a kind of a rudimentary kind of, it's not about big industry or even success in any predictive way. What it is about using the resources in the most imaginative and creative way toward constructive ends. And if we can work to create not only these microsystems for development, but also the sustainable farm. And so one of the first questions I asked him was, there's nothing more essential than education and food. I mean, it's about as essential as you're going to get. When you think of a farm in a place like South Sudan, what do you think? And this is indicative of my thinking at the time. I thought he was going to say, growing crops to live on, sustainable crops to live on in a sustainable farming way. And by the way, one of the things I did early in my life, I studied, I kept honeybees and I studied the beneficial use of insects in agriculture. Had nothing to do with my upbringing. I just was curious about it. So when I asked him the question, it came from an authentic place, is my point. And what he said to me was, just as we want to build out the water, we want to build out the farm. Yes, I want to be able to feed my family, and yes, I want to be able to feed my community, but I want to sell. I don't want to just be dependent, I want to sell. So what we're talking about is how to build cash crops, how to develop cash crops, not just consumption crops like vegetables and fruits and the like. And when you start to add those dimensions together, food and water and education and ecosystems and the like, you have almost the exact model for the development of any ecosystem, any structure, any way of thinking about change. And it came out of adversity. It came out of some terrible moments in time within his country. But what my point is that he was able to go back and make change happen because he looked at the conditions that existed, analyzed them, created a new network, and used that network for productive ends. And if that's not imaginative, I don't know what is.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for your experience sharing. So, Saurabh, sir, would you like to add something based on food entrepreneurship so that it matches the theme too?
So I think food entrepreneurship agri-sector in Nepal comprises of 66% of the population of Nepal is engaged in agriculture directly, and indirectly it crosses over 70%. So I think food is the single most critical factor for self-sustenance of any country. Food security, energy, and infrastructure, I would name. The number one is food security. The problem with Nepal is that the government also has always had a priority on the agri sector, but we are always reliant on subsistence agriculture. Now we need to move on from subsistence to commercial agriculture. So that is the first step. Secondly, we need to improve the infrastructure. We have enough food, basic food items, rice, grains, wheat, maize, we have enough to feed the population. We may not have other fancy fruits, high value agriculture, but these basic is enough. Still, the cost of agriculture, when it reaches from the farm to the market, is at an inflated price because we don't have the infrastructure. One is the road infrastructure. Secondly is the food storage infrastructure, whether they're cold storages or whether they are grain storage facilities. For example, we have the best apples. Jomsom, Mustang apples and Jomsom Suntala, oranges, Jomsom. So they're very good. But most of us have had that as a gift. A friend gives it to us because it comes in limited quantity. They cannot produce more than that because they don't have the storage facility nor the linkages to the market, because there's a very small narrow, not even a pitch road going up to that location. So if the infrastructure was there, the production could be commercialized, and that could, on a national scale, be distributed. And even internationally, we could export. So our focus has to be on commercialization, one, improvement on the infrastructure, whether it's roads or whether it's storage facilities. And thirdly, Nepal is blessed with one of the best climates. Within north to south, North China and south being India, 150 kilometers north to south, we have 5 eco zones. So within those 5 eco zones, we can grow anything. I was just having a dragon fruit, which I used to only get in Bangkok. My driver bought it to me and he said, please try this, avocados and dragon fruit. And the taste was even better than what was available in Bangkok. And he's growing it in his backyard. So not just that, herbs, pharmaceuticals, herbs, medicinal plants, high value agriculture, fruits, everything we can grow. So that commercialization, if we can do that, and we invest in now high commercialization and high value agriculture. So if we can do that, there is tremendous opportunity for growth in Nepal. Medicinal herbs and plants like Yarcha Gumba and other medicinal plants, very high value. So I think we need to focus on that. And in that, I think it's not rocket science, and it's not something that hasn't been done. We need to work with international partners who have expertise, import biotechnology so that we can grow various fruits and medicinal plants. So when we can do that, we can scale up. Secondly, along with that, another important factor is value addition. We are losing a lot of value addition because basically, whether it's cardamom, for example, I'll give you cardamoms, what happens in Nepal in cardamoms and elaichi. Our farmers grow cardamom and elaichi, and for example, 100 rupees a kg, they sell it. It goes into our neighboring countries, and the neighboring countries wash it, process it, package it, sort it size-wise, and sell it at 3,000 rupees. So we are losing 2,000 rupees, 3 times we're losing because we are not able to add value. So value addition in terms of processing, packaging, sorting also has to be done here. So with these 2 components, just to summarize, agriculture is the way forward. We need to move from subsistence to commercial agriculture. We also need to improve the infrastructure for the agriculture. And we need to focus on value addition we need to focus on high value agricultural products, and we need to add value. So that is the way forward, and there's tremendous potential. And being a priority sector of Nepal government, you can already get loans at 4 to 5% for agriculture products. So it is a priority of Nepal government, and this is a very attractive package for all entrepreneurs who want to get into agriculture. A lot of big businesses are now getting back into agriculture. We are also into agriculture now. Agriculture is big business, and that is the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, Aparna ma'am and Jinji, can you summarize in short time because we are running short of time? So, a little.
Sure. I'll be very mindful. No problem. So, I think yes. What's important if you want to go the entrepreneurship way is going to be finding the right opportunity. If you look at a problem, don't look at it as a problem. Look at it as an opportunity. What is it that I can as a business to make? That's one thing. The other thing I think, which is very important, thing. What is it that you are offering your customer? How does your customer benefit from not just what you're putting out there, but the entire experience of being a part of your business as somebody who is the consumer of your business. So I think these 2 things is you should keep in mind if they're looking at going the entrepreneurship way. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and Jinji, can you conclude, we can say, from your view on this point?
Yeah, well, from my perspective, I would like to say if you are a startup in your business, just be sure that you take care of supply chain and your competition, your branding, because well, my job is it's not only, but mostly related to marketing, but I have been involved with a lot of clients, and they're well, I would say those three sections are really important. Say supply chains, especially in cross-border e-commerce, it's the most important thing to deal with. If you win on the supply chain, you got cheap logistic, or you got take care of your supply chain. You actually has a lot of advantage advantages over your other competitors. And then make sure you take care of 4 Ps, which is a common terms. It's price, people, place, and promotions. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Okay, so thank you so much. So like we have already crossed the time limit of panelists, because when it's virtual, something becomes late. So I like to conclude this panel discussion. Thanks to all the panelists we have, Mr. Scott sir, Saurabh sir, Aparna ma'am, and Inji ma'am. Thanks to all. I guess now we need to take a selfie before leaving with the panelists. So I hope everyone open their camera. Also the participants who wish to take the selfie with our lovely panelists. And Suprema, the anchor, may just take it. Okay, I think it's done. So
Thank you.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care. Stay safe, everyone.
Yeah.
Be
Happy
well.
Dasai again. Bye.
Thank you.
Be well. all.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye. So now I'd like to pass to our anchor, Apeksha. Now you can take the floor. My turn is down.
Thank you so much, Biplav. Allowing women to make life-determining decisions is a simple thing referred to as women empowerment. Hello, everyone. I am Suprema Shrestha. Today, all of us have been joined by 4 incredible personalities. Everyone would love to hear them, and today we'll have a panel discussion on entrepreneurship, leadership, and so on, and how to encourage women into entrepreneurship. Let me start with our special guest, Ms. Barsa Lekhi. She is winner of Miss Nepal International 2016 and environmental activist.
Thank you so much, Suprema, for your kind and sweet introduction. I really feel overwhelmed. This webinar seems to be regarding entrepreneurship, but my talk is quite inclined towards environment, so I think that's all right.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, yeah.
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
And we have our next guest, Mrs. Ivana Manandar. She is Miss Nepal 2015, and she achieved International Student of the Year Nada Vujika Memorial Award 2014 for internationalizing the campus. She has Dean's Excellence Award in Marketing 2014, and she is Biodiversity Conservation Ambassador at National Trust for Nature Conservation. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Namaste. सबैजनालाई सर्वप्रथम हार्दिक अभिवादन and happy Dasai. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor and pleasure at the same time to be here, even though it was last moment catched yesterday. First of all, thank you, Holt Prize Pulcho campus, I think this is designated with. Thank you for having me here, the entire student community, faculties, as well as members from the Holt Prize community. Thank you so much. Thank you, the host too, and have a safe Dasai, guys. Celebrate in your home.
Thank you, ma'am. Up next, we have Mansi Agarwal, CE TED speaker and Toadmaster, corporate trainer, communications coach, premier Udemy instructor, and an entrepreneur. And recently, she has been popular for her videos about the reasons never to visit Nepal.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Suprema. Thanks a lot for having me here. I'm so excited to be seeing so many of you. Thanks a lot. Have a super day, everyone. And I hope this is going to be a great discussion.
I'll get back to you, ma'am. And up next, we have Miss Priya Sigdel. She is Miss Nepal International, Miss Nepal Earth 2018 and top 18 semi-finalist and Miss Earth winner of Best Eco Video. And she is president at Hati Nepal and country coordinator for Udan Foundation.
Hi everyone, namaste. I'm Priya Sigdal as introduced. I'm really looking forward to this panel discussion as I love when there is women in the panel. So yeah, looking forward to it.
So are we ready to empower today?
Yes.
So I'll start with Mansi ma'am. According to you, what kind of relation is there in between communication skills and entrepreneurship?
Well, that's actually a great question. And, you know, in all my experiences as a communications coach and a trainer, what I find is that I have many, many people from different walks of life coming to talk to me about how they can be better leaders, right? So I have people who are bankers. I have people who are in the media. I have people who are celebrities who come to me and they tell me that we want to have a more of an impact in whatever field we do. So let's say we have somebody who's a banker, he's a CEO, about to be a CEO, and they want to understand how they can be better at whatever it is that they want to do. They come to me with their problems, and ultimately when I speak to them in all my training need assessment with them, what I realize is that all of this actually bounces back to a basic problem with communication. As a leader, if you are looking at excelling in whatever your field is, as an entrepreneur, if you want to excel in whatever your field is, it is extremely important to understand how you should communicate. When I say how you should communicate, not only am I talking about the words you use, not only am I talking about the body language, I'm also talking about understanding the other person, understanding your audience, understanding the tone you have to speak at, understanding the flavor and the vibe of your communication as well. So when I work with people who are leading organizations, let's say, who are working in organizations, I always tell them that to be successful in any field, you need to really have two things. Number one, you need to have technical skills, which means, let's say you're a banker, you need to know exactly how to be a banker, but that's not sufficient. You must be able to talk that with soft skills, because without soft skills, you're not going to be able to get your word across. Very recently, I was training a group of doctors. Now, you know, doctors are highly educated. They're really, really smart people. However, what I found was that for them, again, to be great at doctors, to be great as entrepreneurs, because a lot of doctors have also invested in businesses. A lot of doctors are also doing things on the side. For them to be great as entrepreneurs, to be great as leaders, they needed to be able to communicate, not just with their patients, not just with their clients, but also with their teams. So communication is absolutely important if you want to be able to lead a team or an organization of any sort. When I talk to people, I tell them a couple of points to keep in mind. Number one, be extremely mindful of who it is that you're talking to. So it's not just important to know what to say, but you also must be able to customize it so as to make it more palatable to the person who's going to be listening to you. So I think that's extremely important. The other thing that I think is extremely crucial is to be able to understand the language, the tonality, the words, the vocabulary, and the emotion behind what you're saying. Let me just put it like this. Let's say Suprema is a friend of mine, okay? And I see Suprema in the morning and I say, "Hi, Suprema, you're looking really pretty today." Well, that's one way of saying it. On the other hand, if I say, "Hi, Suprema, you're looking really pretty today," that just by the basis of the tone that I use completely changes the meaning of what I'm saying. So on the one hand, I'm really happy that my friend's looking really, really pretty. On the other hand, I'm possibly jealous. And that again is something that consumers pick up. So as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as somebody in a managerial position, you have to be extremely conscious of your tone as well. Another thing that I'm really, really focused on is helping people understand the method of communication. Very often people are like, okay, this is the message I have to give, but they don't know whether that message warrants an email, a phone call, a meeting, a press release. It's extremely important for people to understand exactly what the medium of communication should be. If all these things are in place, if all these things are taken care of, if the method, the message, and the emotion come together with the right medium, you're able to convey your message in the right way, which is extremely important and crucial for any business, for any organization. I hope that answers that.
So the stage is your best friend and your best friend gives you confidence. I heard that about you. And, you know, you're known for best communication skills. And there are so many entrepreneurs who just started off their business. And is there a high chance of their failure if they are not good at communication?
Absolutely, I think so. Unfortunately, the truth is that out of every 100 new businesses that start, historically and globally, around 97% fail. What does that mean? What are these 3% people doing correctly that the others are not? There are, of course, many, many factors. You can say it's luck. Bhagavan le maya dekha ko. It's not that at all, guys. It's not true at all. I believe persistence. That's something that's extremely important. Persistence, to have clarity, to have the right vision, but all of this when combined with the right communication skills gives you exactly what you want. Let me tell you a small story from my own life. It's an incident, in fact. You know me as a communications coach or a corporate trainer. The truth is that I'm also a professional photographer. And as a professional photographer, I'm a baby and food photographer. I started a company called Cherry Orchard Baby Photography in 2015. And I've also started Kitchen Tales Food Photography much more recently. As a photographer, what I understand is people are not looking at the best pictures of their kids. People are looking at pictures where their kids are looking the cutest. Okay. And every single person has a completely different idea of what cute, nice photo means to them. If as a photographer, I am hell-bent on what I want to deliver, I'll not be delivering the right value to them because they won't see value in my work until and unless it meets their perspective of what they want from me. So if I'm not able to communicate, if I'm not able to listen, if I'm not able to understand what exactly is going to be delighting the other person, I will never, ever be able to give them what they want and my business will fail. If I put this same formula into anything else, it's going to be the same. Let's say as a communications coach or as a corporate trainer, I go into an organization. Let's say I go into WorldLink. Now, WorldLink is an organization which is very technical in nature. I am their coach. I am their customer service coach. They have a very technical organization. The way I conduct a training for WorldLink is extremely different from the way I conduct the same training on the same topic for a jewelry shop, because the customers are different, the clients are different, the people they're working with is different. So what people who are successful do differently in their lives is that they communicate better, they understand, they spend in a lot of time to understand exactly what their client wants, exactly how the client will be pleased, because until and unless you can please and satisfy every single client, you will not be able to have a business that's going to see more than 3 years in operation. Businesses that close down within the first 3 years are businesses that have either got the idea wrong or they have got a fundamental problem in the way they communicate. They're not able to understand exactly what the client wants. The moment you have a good idea of what your client wants, you need to be able to pivot your business. You need to be able to change your track a bit, and you need to be able to deliver them that consistently, and you need to be able to customize it as per the individual client. I hope that answers that.
That was beautiful. So I think all of us should develop our communication skills if you want to enter entrepreneurship. So I'd like to move to Ivana, ma'am. What are the main things you consider as a leader?
Well, that's a very important question, first of all. And I would like to thank Mansi ji for answering it very beautifully and articulating it well with a lot of integrated common problems that occur in this business world. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to just, with how leadership, I do think that our traits, first of all, our personalities, our attributes, and how our behavioral and skill approaches really make a difference in leadership. Like we say, Hamli Bonso, everyone is different. Everyone has their unique personalities, whether it could be a little crazy or a little bit egoistic, or it could even be a very, very helpful person. With the diverse personalities that we actually meet in this day-to-day world, and now we can all meet virtually, which is, I think, a blessing right now, because, you know, this is very, very difficult in uncertain times. We are meeting diverse personalities in one platform, you know. So I think traits, really starting with traits and our personalities, is something that really, really makes a difference with leadership. And I really do not actually also believe the factor that leaders are born and they're not made. This is a very cliche quotation that has been always rigorously happening during our college, school, as well as in our work professional environment. So I think leaders are not born itself, they are made too as well, with due time of experience, environmental exposure, and of course work environment and personal experience as well. So I think starting with traits is really important. Your personal traits and your professional traits. About my personal trait, thinking of my personal trait, I could be very extrovert person. I could be a very easy to go person, social person. But when you think about your professional trait, you cannot actually use the same traits, or you're not actually using it, whether intentionally or unintentionally. It's not like you're trying to change the traits in between them. It's just something that comes naturally with you based on the professional environment. If you are like obviously going to graduate, right, being engineers and or architects, and how are you going to do in your technical skills? I think you're to and at least 90% of wherever you work, whether it is a formal setting, informal setting, professional environment, I think personal traits and professional traits, I would like to start with, really matters a lot. Whether you're intelligent, whether you're educated, experienced, that is not significantly accounted for everything. It's about your personal well-being, of how you want to go about in the communication mechanism too. Personally, as a person, I could be a social person. When adding to what Manisi ji said, communication is the key to integrating entrepreneurs, stakeholders, employees in an organization. त्यो बाहेक go out of the box than the heady personality itself, and the personal traits to begin with really matters. For me, I could be hard on, very difficult to handle in work environment, and I could be really easygoing when it comes to personally. Like if someone knows me personally, I could be really easygoing, easy to talk to, easy to deal with, not with ego. But maybe in a working environment, I would be a little, not just professional, I would probably be difficult to handle. So I think based on the situational attribute after that, which is traits, personal and professional attributes, but see, based on situational attribute, behavioral attribute, it makes a lot of difference. Mero behavior attribute will not be the same. Attribute is a kind of a personality, but I'm not a kind of I would say like your type of personality. You've done the above I'm sure you guys have done McGregor's personality test and dope test, which is a very common test that is used worldwide. Dope test is based on dove personality, owl, pigeon, and eagle personality winners, DOPE. It is a very prominent test. I think you guys should do it too if you get the opportunity. It makes you realize more and kind of gives you a closure of your personality type. So this is also how I learned that, like personality really differs from person to person, as well as personal and professional setting. And after the personality is being observed and you actually know what kind of personality you are, and it's not about just being introvert and extrovert. I think it's way beyond that. It's way beyond when you categorize it just into a box that you're a very extrovert person, you're an introvert person, and neither or of them is good or bad. A combination of both is actually really important. You should be a calm person at the same time and a social person at the same time. So I do think it's really important to have trait balances. This pussy, we go into behavioral attributes and approaches. Behaviors, when we go into behaviors, we have to understand, like Manishiji said, listening to approach the right gesture when you're communicating comes integrated with your personality type, and after that is your behavior. Certainly your behavior is going to be very, very different when it comes to dealing with a family environment, especially women. I mean, women have a very high temper. That is very, very, obvious, and we should, because I do think that, like women have this, so much phases in any life, premenopausal when you're dealing with, I've been seeing that myself in my house, and they say, like, men actually do say this. I'm not trying to point out men or women here. It's a general personality that happens to women after a certain time. When you're having periods, for example, you will have a different approach and behavior towards the setting of the same setting, which could be very calm for the other person, and another, at the same time, the other person could be panicking at the same time. So we don't actually, I think, account these things of how the person is actually dealing personally, and why that person's behavior actually differed. Yesterday I was seeing that person, that person was so calm. Suddenly today, why she has a nerve on her head, one is stone. But we don't understand, articulate that maybe she's going through something the other side of the bridge, maybe. We're just seeing that one side of the story. Now we should be a good listener in order to approach that, and that is through communication, which Male had gone voice. But before communication, all of these are not accounted for: personality, attribute, behaviors, and situations. So I think when we integrate all of that, we do deal with major issues. Certainly creatively problem-solving issues with that is not just creativity and innovation, but also creatively thinking with a word that is called divergent thinking. Thinking out of the box and having many solutions to one problem. So I think you subpilla integrate God. That's I think a leadership को various varieties and I think taste of it will come, because I do personally also believe that leadership is also acquired through an environment. We learn it. So I think traits, behavior, and situational approaches to it really integrates well in order to understand each other in whether it would be a competitive environment or a formal, informal, and even in a very homely family environment. And that is the problem, because we don't try to understand the other person's situation and behavior and personality. And this is another problem that creates a miscommunication and obviously brings a gap to become a better leader, even for themselves. It's not just to succeed in a professional setting, but as a leader too, when you want to become a leader to yourself, to lead your own well-being, we really need to integrate these things, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the beautiful answer about leadership. I'd like to move to Priya ma'am. So how do you monitor the performance of people that you have to lead?
There are so many things when it comes to leadership, as has been told by the speakers, the panel just now, communication skills, there's lots of strategies. But basically what I believe is that one thing that is really important sometimes before going to people and before telling them anything that is important is to know my audience. I should have a proper research about my audience that I'm going to. So sometimes having a great personality, having so much of I'm having a good voice or I'm a good speaker. Sometimes it's not going to pull me up if I don't know what my audience is, or I'm not doing my research enough. Because sometimes audience would be like, yes, you have a great powerful personality, you are really a good speaker, but I'm here to get my answers. And if you are there for a certain thing or to talk about certain thing or to make things work out, suppose there is a session going on about entrepreneurship or non-profit organization. So of course, my audience will be more interested on knowing about how actually it is or the challenges or the SWOT that happens in our country. They want to know about it more. So it really doesn't matter, only having one attribute is really enough to have my audience there with me, to have my people there and listen to me and to make an impact. Sometimes what happens is we just want to be so focused on giving and presentation or giving our ideas that we tend to forget that there should be a link, the link about giving and taking, that does my audience are equally interested or equally they are there to understand the essence of entrepreneurship, or they are just there to listen to me just because people say that I'm a powerful speaker. So it's really important to understand your audience is it really matters, and to have that proper and basic research about your audience is really important for me. And when we have these things together, then what we are going to present, how we are going to present, or who are there, then it will really create an impact for me. So it's just about giving, it's a balance. It's a balance about balance with the facts you have and how you implement those facts. It's just a balance for me, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the beautiful answer, ma'am. And what if someone in your team makes a mistake? How do you deal with that situation, and how do you control
I think everyone makes mistakes. It's not like we are really we are so confident. It's just about you keep your mistakes confidently without being like, okay. So see, what I've always believed is that we make mistakes. Everyone does, and even in my team, or even I also make a lot of mistakes. But I think these are the mistakes that my organization is here because of the mistakes we have made. We were really young people when we started this journey. Like we were in our 20s. We were not even graduate, we're just aspiring students. So when we start our journey working in the field for youth and women organization, we knew that we are going to make mistakes. But what was the more important thing, or a thin line, was that I know we will be making mistakes. I know my team member will be making mistakes, but are we going to repeat those mistakes again or not? So that is a very important decision that you make at that time. So whenever we make decisions, we make sure that if there is going to be a mistake, then we have plan B. If we are again going to repeat that mistake, then we need again, I think, a really wisdom words and how we actually make things work. So we do make mistakes. My team make mistakes. No one is perfect. But where we stop, right, is like if it's not going in the right way or there's no path, we create a path for ourselves. We create a new one. We don't focus and just working on the same mistakes, which is not giving us solutions, or we don't try to drag someone down just because we are making mistakes. I mean, anyone can make mistakes. It's really normal. It's really okay, but we have to stop right there if we are repeating those mistakes. So there's no room for repeating mistakes, but if there is a mistake, yes, we can go for another direction and choose how we can work these things on. So I think I'm a really open person for mistakes because I do make mistakes, but I don't repeat them. Yes.
All of us make mistakes and all of us should improve from the next time. Thank you so much for the beautiful answer, Priya ma'am. So I'd like to move to Barsalekhi ma'am. You started working as volunteering activities like cleaning up campaigns and research based on environmental studies. So can you tell us about a time when you demonstrated your leadership skills?
If I have to really go back and reflect my leadership journey, then I think it would start from schooling days. I was a school captain back then, and to be specific, I was school literary captain. So I think leadership was there inside me, but with time and with experience I gained, I brushed my skills with time and with taming and grooming. The leadership, evolved in me, and I think every person has that kind of genre where leadership is there, but just a slight push and support is needed, is what I think takes you to be a leader. And during the journey of leadership, you really don't have to focus on your agendas and only prioritize what your priorities are, but also listen to what your other members have or what they feel about your idea and your concept. Considering all the feelings and ideas will make you a good leader.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, Barsa ma'am. Ma'am, would you like to add something? Was your experience similar to Barsalekhi ma'am, or is there something different?
Could you just ask me the question one more time? I was taking down notes from the other one, yeah.
When did you realize that you can now be a leader? And
oh my
you
God.
can, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just take this back to my school days as well, just like Barshadi did right now. So Barshadi spoke about how she was school captain. I was also a school junior prefect, senior prefect, captain of a club, school vice captain, and all sorts of things. But that was a different kind of leadership, I feel. In today's world, when we're looking at the world today, we look at a more dynamic sort of leadership, right? In school, when they give you a badge and they say, okay, you are captain, you walk like that, you walk with that air, right? Everyone knows you by the badge on your dress. That was what the case was in our school. Now, when you are out of school, you realize you're in a completely different environment. All the things that were holding you back, all of those boundaries, all the shelter that you were in was absolutely gone. So the moment that's shattered, you're by yourself. At this point in life, I realized I had a choice at every step of the way. What I also understood was very, very recently, in fact, and I'm going to come back to this incident, what I also understood is a leader isn't necessarily somebody who wears the badge. I know of way too many people in the world today. Let's start with even politicians in different countries. Let's start with business leaders. How many of you here know of somebody who is a business leader, know of somebody who is CEO or MD of an organization, yet is not as well respected, yet is not as loved as the other person who may not have the badge, but who may be the de facto leader who's actually leading the company? What I understand by this is that the leader is not the one who sits on the highest chair. The leader is not the one who's sitting at the main chair at a meeting. The leader is the one who puts in the work. Now, how exactly do you be a leader? I went for this class when I was in grade 8, and the first thing that they told us in this class was responsibility brings authority, which means that if you want to be a leader, you don't have to be the one with the biggest badge. You have to be the one who takes the most amount of responsibility. The moment you start taking additional responsibility in your hands, leadership comes your way. Let me give you the smallest example that I can think of right now, because it's also the most current example in my life. Some of you might have heard that I made this video last week. I made this video called 7 Reasons to Never Ever Visit Nepal, and somehow it went crazy mad viral. I had no idea this would happen. I thought maybe 5,000, 8,000 people will watch it, as was normal with me. Now, what happened was nobody told me to make this video. Nobody paid me a paisa to make this video. I just made this video because I felt like it. I thought, as a person who lives in Nepal, it was a part of my responsibility, right? So I took a bit of responsibility and made this video. Now video goes viral, boom. I have nothing to do with it. It just went viral. The moment it went viral, I started getting a lot of calls to appear on this platform, to speak there, which I was doing earlier as well. But now it just became at a sort of a higher leadership position. What does that mean? I'm not working with Nepal Tourism Board. I am not a minister. I am not a politician. I'm nobody in the government. I don't have a travel agency, nothing like that. But I took some additional responsibility, and that gave me leadership. And that is true for anybody in any place, in any situation, any country, any organization. If you want to be a leader, you don't necessarily have to be called the leader. You take up leadership by assuming and taking up responsibilities. Take up responsibilities, lead by example. I see a lot of very young people here. I see a lot of very fresh faces here. Each one of you now is going to have a choice. Either you're going to run behind those accolades, which might give you a very, very nice looking name or a designation or a title. But the moment you start running behind real authority, you have to start taking extra responsibility, and that's what's going to get you there. So I think if you want to be a leader, if you want to assume that you have to be able to take additional responsibility more than what the world expects you to do, and that's exactly how your journey of leadership will go on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So that was a beautiful explanation about leadership and your experience. I would like to move to Priya, ma'am. So, ma'am, you are president at Hati Hati Nepal, a non-profit organization. According to you, what kind of social impacts can a non-profit organization make?
Any impact that is started with a motive that I'm not working for others, but I'm actually working for myself because it is actually making a difference in my life, is already creating an impact. Because when you see, we all are part of this society. So how a society is developing, how a society is emerging, how this hierarchy is working, we are part of it, right? So whenever people ask me a lot of time that you are really young and you have an organizer, you are really into women activism, like from 19 years of age I'm doing it. I'm 25 now, and people ask me the same question, and sometimes honestly, I don't have answers how this is making an impact, because it is changing my life. Yes, it is. It is changing the journey of people. Yes, it is. But still, if you ask me this question, I'll be like, I think we are really, really long. It's a long way to go there. So I'll be really hopeful. But when we talk about overall scenario, see, there are 6,000 NGOs registered in our country, more than 15,000 which are not registered but still working for the welfare of our country. So what happens is this social impact means impact that are created because of the goals you have. Our goal is really clear about uplifting marginalized community women. How? By making them economically independent. Why? Because if you are economically independent, you are not being dependent on anyone to make decisions which are told to you, like it's like, I'm not authorized to make decisions, which you are always told that I think these are not something that I am supposed to do. Why? Because of the social packaging of male and female into masculinity and femininity that has been ascribed, that has been given to us by the day we are born. So what happens here is, if we are doing this, we are in the part of a process where we are making our decisions, which is normally not usual for people. So yes, it is non-profit organization. What is your goal? If you are going to your goals, you are leading there, then yes, it is making a social impact. But if you're not, if you have an organization where your goal is different, you are reaching there, people know your organization, but they are knowing your organization for different purpose, and you are not leading to your goal, then we need to again come and have a retrack on it. So giving a simple example of what would be tracking on would be like, for example, sustainable development goals. Lots of people ask me, are we on the track? I guess we are not. So what happened in the start was when SDG started, it was like, to have a country's ownership. But later on, what the idea of country's ownership replaced with the idea of global SDG indicators. So when it happens like a global indicator and not a country's ownership, we feel like it is someone else's thing that they will do it. So it happens same with the non-profit organization in a very small scale. So I'm just giving you a perspective of how a smaller idea or a country's idea actually can make things really not really make an impact. So whenever we talk about social impact, anything done for the community, started for a community is really good, but it is then impacted when it has sustainable ideas. It is going in a long run process. It's been 5 years of our organization. We are going in the track. We are following the track. We are making changes. But again, where we stop, where we have to say that we are not making a bigger impact, is that we are not able to boom from the organization that we are inside. We want to take maybe my organization to every district, to at least every province in our country. If we are not reaching there, then we have a long way to go. But social impact is, we are trying to create a very strong social impact, and non-profit organizations worldwide are doing that. Even in COVID-19 responses, some of the great organizations like Relief International, World Kitchen Central, they're making amazing COVID charities by these non-profit organizations. So yes, they do make a social impact, and we just need more proper idea. We need to aware more people about how non-profit organization works, because non-profit organization, the idea of people about non-profit organization, they have a lot of money. Where the real idea is, we don't. Actually, in the field, we don't. It's really hard. The global funding system works in a very different way than we imagine. So whatever it is, besides keeping those all legal things and how we process and how things goes on in our country, anything that is started for the community, when you start working for the community, not making as an event, but actually making as a progress for the society, as an impact, then yes, it does make a difference. And I believe that we are somewhere in the journey of making a difference in our society by my organization so far. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for the answer, and we all thank you for what are the things, all of the things you are doing to achieve sustainable development goals. You are just doing great things to achieve sustainable development goals, Priya ma'am. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to move to Barsa Lekhi ma'am. Ma'am, you are an environment activist, and Nepal is one of the smallest contributor and a major victim of climate change, and least able to control its consequences as well. So what are its effects specifically in Nepal? And as an environment activist, what have you done in past, and what are your future plans?
Yeah, as you rightly said, that Nepal's contribution towards global warming or climate change issues is very it's non-significant. If you see in statistics, it's just 0.027% of total global emissions, which is equivalent to 0.03, which is almost non-significant. Like, it's very less as compared to other Western big companies that belong to Western countries like US and China and European countries. But if we talk about our scenario, Nepal having connected river systems where our water resources solely depend upon ice cover and snow of Himalayas. So I believe this the vulnerability is interconnected with what we actually feel with the current scenario. That is, if our contribution towards global climate change or global emissions is negligible, but its impact over our resources, over our snow and fern and ice is just opposite of what we have been contributing. So I believe our contribution as a nation, we have been doing several initiatives, like we've been introducing subsidies on solar renewable energy, And we also, there's this controversy on tax on electrical vehicles. We're not keeping that aside. There are much to do as a country, but I believe it also depend on our individual effort that we're putting in. And I call it climate action, that our personal, our individual efforts, reducing the pollution or global climate change or global warming should be considered, should be focused, rather than putting blame on other countries or on the nation or the government as a whole. So I believe I started the journey of advocacy and implementation of this environmental related activities since I was early age, maybe 1920. And I started with this voluntary based cleanup campaigns, that was Clean Up Bagmati and Clean Up Nepal. And I was also, once I was Miss Nepal, I was nominated as their Goodwill Ambassador for Clean Up Campaign year 2016. And I also worked as a site coordinator at the time. So I believe, you know, you really don't have to be related to environment stream of education, or your job has to be environment related. You as a person, as a human being, should be accountable for the environment you're living in, for the ambient pollution that you've been contributing to, that you are, you know, be it waste that you're generating, be it the emissions that you're doing. The carbon footprint plays a vital role in this scenario. So I think me, like past and present, if I have to talk, then earlier, during my course of education, I was just advocating in my social media platform about you know, renewable energy, about mindful use of natural resources and non-renewable energy. But now I'm working in UNDP Jeff Small Grants program. We have been supporting projects by providing them funds. We provide funds to NGOs of Nepal, where we collaborate bilaterally or collaterally with the local government, and we provide funds for environment related issues. Like we have four focal areas, that is climate change, biodiversity conservation, land degradation, and POPs, that is persistent organic pollutants. So any project that falls under our focal areas, we've been providing them funds, and the result has been really good. We've been able to conserve dolphin. Like many of our viewers, our participants may not know that we have dolphins in our river. So, you know, we've been able to promote, and not just promote, but also statistically have the data of a dolphin count in Mohana River, which is in Bardia, which is linked to Mahakali River somewhere. And also we've succeeded in vulture conservation. And as WLF has been celebrating zero rhino years, since 2 years. So I think we as a country are doing good, and there are much scope, but as an individual also, I think we need to push ourselves to do better. Yeah.
Thank you so much for whatever you are doing for the environment conservation and protection of climate, and then you're just doing great job, ma'am. Thank you so much for beautiful answer. So I would like to move to Ivana, ma'am. So ma'am, how important is political support for wildlife conservation?
Very important. It's not happening in Nepal. That's the problem. It's very important. Yeah. I think, yes, go ahead.
No, ma'am, please continue.
So you were saying something. You can go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I guess I was going to ask you, so are you getting the proper, like, you know, required supports, but you were about to answer, so I'm sorry to interrupt.
I mean, it's a very politically driven world, overall, the whole world. If it was privatized rather than capitalized, and I think it would have been a better world itself, I know. But Nepal, obviously, having the problems that we all face, starting with power distance, bribing, and position and power, more than obviously the task itself to perform well. I think that is the major problem to begin with, whether it's not just concrete and just designated to political parties or political issues around the world. I know Nepal, being a federal democratic republic nation, it still has the problem of not being able to let the privatized company run in a private manner, or not without a government intervention. Government has to intervene, whether it is private, public, non-profit, for profit. And now, Nepal, looking at the policies that was just designed and designated based on fiscal and monetary policies in terms of business, I'm just going to talk just in terms of business. Nepal has had a lot of provisions that has been implemented based on concession loans, women entrepreneurship, based on CSR, corporate social responsibilities, and obviously promoting e-commerce businesses and online deliveries, and also financing women entrepreneurship in agriculture and tourism industry, which is hard hit after earthquake. And then especially after COVID, women entrepreneurs, SMEs have been hit really, really hard. Concession loans have been provided up to 10 years in natural rate. I cannot deny that, obviously, because it is written down in paper. But where is the initiation happening? Where is the act of improvising these monetary fiscal policies and norms and reforms that have been implemented based on the fiscal year just budget that was passed in 2077-78, I know, to even any women entrepreneurs who are just going to start their business. I know they have said that with a rate of interest rate of 5%, the types of loans would be provided to women and SMEs. Government is actually even politically supporting 100 million Nepali rupees. They've actually said it will be facilitated for SMEs loans overall in the nation. But where is it happening? I know Nepal Communist Party being the ruling government with the manifesto right now, it's still with the position. So where are leaders? Starting and going from to the scratch, the leaders are not improvising any leadership attributes that have been written in the paper. I think that is the major problem. More than, I would not just blame it. I've said this also before, I'm going to say this again. And Nepal is not an underdeveloped country, but it is mismanaged and undermanaged by the rules and reforms of political and economic powers in the country. And we youths cannot take that blame shift and still work on the factor that, our government is not doing anything, and economically we're not strong. So where do we improvise? We can't put our hands still, which Priya Boinile bhanyo, Borshale bhanyo, that where we cannot stop our businesses, we cannot stop women entrepreneurs or males or SMEs or agriculture, krishi lai hamle, we cannot स्थगित गरे त राख्नु भएन, because obviously that is our power, natural resources, tourism industries, krishi, agriculture, women entrepreneurs, cottage industries. These are our power when it comes to leaders that are in Nepal, because obviously we have the competitive edge and the sustainable competitive edge with the sustainable idea that we as, the citizens of Nepal are doing. Cottage industry, when it comes to cottage industry with handicrafts, pashminas, and even like Yarsha Gumba right now, recently gonna be like, I think probably Yarsha Gumba imports and exports from Nepal to the world is another biggest, I think, economy that is going to boom. COVID situation, there is obviously the beverages used with Yasha Kumba, tea, and all of that. So I think Nepal, if you look at the business perspective, there is no problem. There is a lot of scope, when it comes to community development projects, where we are working on not just education and microfinancing for women, and also when we are working on giving, like refinancing for women who can just start from their home, making carpets, or even like you can see like achara, it's being very prominently made right now in by women from home in communities, and not just in Kathmandu, all over east-west area. So I think the business itself and the sector itself is not the problem. The prospect is also not the problem. It's about where and how to lead that. And they have not made the proper infrastructural, economic, political manifestos for the country itself. So bhaneko cha, yes, I read about it, financial bill ma, monetary policy ma, but has it been implemented? No. Definitely not. Women are, being survivors and victims of rape, violence, abuse, your COVID situation, and where is the government improvising? Forget about even businesses. Let's start with community level, violences that are happening during COVID. So I do think that government plays a very important role. And with looking at the world's perspective right now, China has saved themselves because of the government intervention on COVID, even though it was started from there, governmentally, properly, at the right time, not just lockdown. I think it's about improvisation of how to sustain the country's citizen to have a, survival and just to survive more than just, spreading the infection. त्यहाँबाट सुरु गरेकै छैन के government, like even when things like, facilities to the migrant workers were not provided, they were spread all over Dubai to Qatar to so many migrant workers were like alapatra bhayeko थियो. They didn't even know where to go. So I don't even know where the problem is to begin with, because there is so many problems, even though government has obviously intervened in the monetary fiscal level ma, tapako parliament ko level ma, constitution level ma. But I do think that government is the start of the problem and the end to this problem, when it would not be just for the power, position, and leadership. Because everyone is fighting for the chair, not for the mutual gain that the country could get with probably promoting their economic powers, and probably even barter system, which we've studied in economics. I don't know about you. Obviously, barter system. I sometimes think the COVID situation, if a barter system could be involved with even countries, neighboring countries like India, Nepal, China, because obviously everyone is fighting for just power, money, position, and obviously leadership, chair, and it's just for that certain designated time, but maybe we could just exchange natural resources, give and take, not just because obviously money cannot be really utilized properly right now, because every economy, overall world, about 10 million people have been infected with COVID, about 400,000 plus deaths. So I think obviously GDP to contract, there is no question about it. But at least based on our individual countries, even like SAARC countries, they could help each other. You don't have to fight the world or conquer the world in order to get through everything. We can start from us, and because we are the change, and we youths are doing these programs like with this online session to be able to share these ideas, and that we could help each other more than me being a speaker or not, or whatever position we are in. It's about helping each other's ideas and sharing these ideas. And I am more than going to be happy and glad to help each of you in any of these developmental ideas, whether it be engineering, technical, which is probably not part of my domain, but still, I would give my best to help you individually promote e-commerce business socially. So I think now, because we know that the government is at rest and is not going to do anything about it, then just let it be spread. We cannot complain, but we have to make the move forward about the fact that we need to start from ourselves, being youths of the nation and the next change maker. I think we need to start by sharing and supporting and delegating that authority to each other, whether it is through startups, SMEs, e-commerce business, or even students who are just studying and trying to have a side job at the side, starting some entrepreneurial journey. So I think I'm not going to give any shifts of blame to anything or anyone. Yes, government has to intervene, and government should, and I think that's the only way we can retain financially, because government is the person who's going to obviously give the capital to all these economies, whether it be SMEs, private, public, non-profit. But we cannot wait for the change to happen. So we have to start by being able to share that change to each other. And at least we are able to, digitally, with the platform that is the digitalized platform, and with a lot of various integrated marketing communication platforms that we are using, not just with online sessions, but also social media promotions and online businesses, deliveries. I think we can start with that. And I think we are the change makers to begin with. And I would be always willing to help each of you in anything that requires, digitalization, of course, supporting and also promoting individual startups and SMEs, because if we don't, then who will? So I would not like to give blame. I think it's the blame on us to begin with. So let's just start with that. But yes, with the question which you said, political influence is major obviously an affair to obviously make the country a step forward, you know, with looking at oily pani current situation with the voting that is happening in the United States, why United States is considered the powerful nation. But, you know, the thing is, because they have just say we put it in paper, but the paper is scripted there, but it is not abided to, implemented to begin with. A structure needs to be done, I think, more than the power and the resource that we do not lack. It's the structure, and I think it's about time to build that structure. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for the wildlife conservation acts you have been doing, and thank you so much for the beautiful answers. That was a great
Oh, I
answer
didn't
anyone
talk
could have
about
ever
that
given.
actually, because I thought it'd be too long. The wildlife conservation was a long time ago, and I still am a part of it, but that was during 2015. It was about biodiversity and conserving the buffer zones of Nepal, and also protecting basically poaching and all of that. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, we're running out of time. So I think before I say something, it's time for selfie time. So, and I will say like what I have to say. Selfie time, everyone, please open your camera. Audiences and anyone, please open camera because it's selfie time. So I think the selfie is taken. So ma'am, like, thank you so much for joining us. If you have time, please stay with us, because after this, we are going to have a music eve, and beautiful singers are going to join us and going to entertain you. It's festival season, and thank you so much for joining us despite your busy schedule. And this is festival time, but still you joined us, given us our more than an hour to us, sharing your knowledges, experiences. Oh my God, that was just incredible. Thank you so much. And all of you, four of you, I'm so sorry to say that Priya ma'am got internet issues and she left the meeting. But four of you, you've been doing incredible works. Bursa ma'am is working on environment conservation. Mansi ma'am is working on communication, and she's an incredible entrepreneur, and she is just beautiful and just great. And Ivana ma'am is working for wildlife conservation, and Priya ma'am is also working to achieve sustainable development goals. All of you are doing a very, very, very challenging work and a very beautiful work. Thank you so much for working for all of us, and it's proud that we have you and we have women like you. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. Thank you so much. I have to say goodbye now. Thank you. Happy Dasai, all of you.
So do we stay here or do we leave?
Ma'am, please, if you have time, please stay
Oh,
with
okay,
us.
I'm so confused. Okay.
Because
Right.
actually this entrepreneurship session is over, but we have music eve after this, and beautiful singer. Actually, I cannot announce this. Our social media manager, Apeksha Ghimire, will be announcing who the singer is. So let's welcome. I would like to pass things off to Apeksha.
I forgot. Yeah, go ahead. I think Manishiji is saying something.
No, thanks a lot. Thank you so much for having me here. It was really intimidating for me, to say the least, to be speaking with three beautiful Miss Nepals. But of course, I am the Mrs. Nepal here. So yeah, it was just really nice to be here. I'm going to leave because 5 minutes ago, my son fell down and hurt himself, and he's sitting with an ice pack on his cheek right now. So I'm going to take your leave. Everybody have a super great Dasai. Thanks a lot to all the organizers.
Thank you, Manishiji. I loved your video, and I think I have connected with you two personally. Thank you so much for your enlightening words.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for having me here. It's
Thank
really,
you,
really
ma'am.
nice. And thank you to all the people who shared this. And thank you to all the people who are sending me marriage proposals. Unfortunately, I cannot marry all of you. I am getting marriage proposals from random people. But yes, I have to go right now because my son was hurt. And have a super great Dasai. Thank you, all of you. Thanks, Ivana. Thanks, Suprema. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Very, very nice to listen to all of you. And have a super great Dasai. Please be safe. That's really all that matters at this point. Have a great Dasai. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. I'm going to take your leave. My son was crying 5 minutes ago. I'm just going to take it. Bye. Have a super day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
I think I'm going to stay for a while because I think I've spared some time. So I'm going to share. I'm going to stay for a while and share. And तपाईले एउटा चीज भुल्न बिर्सिनु भयो. So I myself am a student right now. It's so fun to go part to that life. You know, I'm doing MBA at KU. I'm getting done soon. So I can understand your shoe, you know, like how does it feel with the pressure of COVID and me doing online session and, you know, and online classes and the amount of assignments and work lectures that goes on. I mean, I could feel that shoes. So I hope I didn't speak so long. I didn't know the time was already up and I was still speaking. Suprema, yes.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much for joining us. Actually, I was so afraid yesterday, like 4 of the incredible ladies are going to join me. Like, how am I going to
No,
express
we're
things?
not incredible. You guys are incredible. To be hosting such things, and the Hall Prize itself, I know KU Mapani, it's very famous Hall Prize and how it's going, you know. Congratulations to everyone and good luck, you know. It's not about winning, and at the end, it's about going with that journey, you know. I am really, really actually thankful to all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I would like to pass things off to Apeksha, and she will be announcing great thing today. Apeksha, I pass things off to you.
Thank you, Suprema. चौला देऊ बतास उदाइ लगोस् यो संसार समाइरहन्छु त्यो हात बाँकी रहन्जेल यो सास. Oh my god, this song is so beautiful and stuck in my head. Maybe it's because this song is frequently played in my phone, and today I personally feel so lucky to announce him, Mr. Shashwat Khatka, an emerging singer, songwriter, guitarist, and composer in the Nepali music industry, is our guest, and listen to his song live. I'm so excited, and I know our audiences are equally excited. He is already here with us, and without delay, I'm welcoming him. Please welcome, sir, and I'm really, really very sorry I sung your song so badly.
It was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm really overwhelmed by that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sirs. And our audiences are excited to listen your song, so I'm not disturbing you. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. Let me start right away because we're gonna talk for a while as well. But I'm gonna start with my second song because earlier we were talking about resources, wildlife, and all. Ani yo git pani maile like lekhne belama ekdamai I was into nature. I get really inspired by nature and people who conserve nature. I really respect them a lot. You know, and yeah, I really get inspired from nature. So here it goes. This is called Monakakura. Yeah. तिमी गुलाब उडी जाने डन्डेले भएमा तर मन नै दौड्ने तिम्रै बारे कम्पिराइदिन कल्पनामै भए पनि सबै रहन्थे तिम्रो साथ विपनामा पनि नजिकिदियो लुकी लुकी हुन थाल्यो हामी दुईको भेटघाट मात्र भन बाँकी अब यही थियो जब आफूभन्दा लामो कुराकानी हुन्छ भने माया किन नभन् त्यसलाई अनि भोलि होला या नहोलान् कोही मनका कुरा सबै भन्नु तिमी मलाई एक्लोपनको कैदीमा तारा आँखाको सबैकी परे तिमी म सोचको सागरमा डुब्छु ती सोचहरूका भुमारी तिमी मुस्कुराउँदा तिमी हाँसाउने सुसारी जिन्दगी वर्णन गर्न नसक्ने भावना समयसँगै ढल्दै जान्छ यो नयाँ मायालु तर्पण सामु म तिमीलाई यही भन्छु भन्दा लामो कुराकानी हुन्छ भने माया किन नभन् त्यसलाई अनि भोलि होला न्यान होला कोही मनका कुरा सबै भन्नु तिमी मलाई कोही मकालुङ गगन तिमी रङ्गिन ट्रेनी टुङ्गिदिन्छ बाटो तिमीमै बिरानो मनको ठेगाना तिमीमै लामो कुराकानी हुन्छ भने माया किन नभन् त्यसलाई अनि भोलि होला न्यानो होलान् कोही मनका कुरा सबै भन्नु तिमी मलाई Thank you so much, guys.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Mr. Saswat. That was just incredible song you just sang right now. Welcome to Hall Prize at IOEP event.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, can we have some kind of interaction with you?
Yeah, sure.
The first song was Apratyachya, which released on 21st August 2019. Do you remember the views?
It's around 80,000 now, right now.
80,000, but I think your next song, Batas, got 10 million views.
Yes.
And within a year, you were an emerging singer. So is that, how do you define this 1 year as? Was it a struggling or was normal? How do you define this 1 year as?
Okay, so first off, I like to start it as this way. My YouTube channel was established around 4 years ago. I started it 4 years ago. And at that time, I did put a lot of cover videos with like 10 views, 20 views going on. And most of them, me checking with my own devices, right? So it was tough. I've been doing music for 8 years now. And of course, there are things that artists do. Like everybody has to put in work to get somewhere, right? But Batash was inside me, inside the back of my head, in the back of my head, I was like, I had a hope that I would do something in music industry, but this was too soon. So I was taken aback as well. It was too soon. But yeah, it was my phase of struggle as well. But it is soon.
That's so beautiful. Mrs. Saswat, we have next performer as well, and she is Smita Dahal, and she is a beautiful singer. She joined us today, and she belongs to a political family of Nepal, and she also started her career as a child, and she is famous for her songs like Mayale Malai Bolayo and Mayalu Timi Kata Chau. So let's welcome Smita Dahal. I think Smita ma'am is facing some of the problems. So let's continue. So Saswat sir, I heard you did bachelor's in food engineering.
Yes, I'm doing it right now.
So when did you start singing?
I started singing around when I was in my 5th grade. No. I started it when I was in my 8th grade. I used to play guitar in my 5th grade.
So you were in love with singing when you were in grade 5, but still you chose bachelor's in food engineering. So what is the reason behind it? Why not bachelor's in singing or music?
Well, to be very honest, the main reason is lack of self-confidence, because I was not sure that I would make it. And like really at that time, I was not that much. My music was not that heard, and I had really little amount of listeners. And yeah, so basically, I went for that engineering, you know.
That was a great answer, but that was incredible. So, Mr. Saswat, did you face any problems with from your family? How was your family's attitude towards your singing?
Well, they were like take it as a hobby. Always the first priority was always studies. So I did it that way. My studies was also good. I took it side by side, and yeah. So now they're saying like you can take it seriously as well, music too.
Thank you so much for incredible answers. Saswat sir, would you like mind singing again a beautiful song for us?
Okay, so since we've talked about Batash, let's just start with it. Kinapachairan me, so they don't care I feel like you एक today देखते know Ramaya you miro Lukai Lutzaina Bavana Go Tongue of your mother, should I logos your sunset? Some might answer through her daki on the outside. She thought it's a bunny, I eat your Maya, Sunya Saya, good something like a my hair to down the into both daddy, they wish you were Kasi katara siya tani kaparina matutya harik dinama Kina ho kina tisila tamaya China kunay kara kas Kuse kumana rasaki kotana Kusiran savina rata Tiare afash Sadio bata Shurai lagos your sunset Samairan to your heart Takiran zeyo sas She thought it's Aya Bani Aidi Maya Sunya Sunya Saya Kotantin like Nayaka Something about that should I love you sunset some night on to do Something about that should I love you sunset some night on to do hot Taki down to your size She thought it's Aya Bani I do Maya Sunya Sunya Saya Put something like Nayaka Kina Pachayan so to me So they don't care, I feel like you're being so deep. Think they know I'm a you made all. Look, I look, they know about the one girl. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saswat. So, like, I heard you're a shy person. What do you have to say in this?
I'm really shy. Even for this event, I did two Discord lives before I came here just for the preparation because I'm really shy, and even when I'm in this camera, I'm like I really shake a lot. That level of shy.
Are you still facing some kind of problem to speak?
No,
still having? Okay,
I'm fine,
so I can.
I'm fine.
Okay, so like Mrs. Saswat, so your Bata song is very famous right now, and you're immersing right now. So to which social media platform you would like to give the credit?
Batash was first put up in YouTube, obviously, and the YouTube channel was started a long while ago, and I had like 400 subscribers at that time, and um, it was doing fine. It was doing better than my previous songs, and I was pretty happy. But then I put it up on TikTok, and after putting it, after 1 week of putting on TikTok, it was increasing in such a way that I felt it was a dream. It was like a dream. So um, I would like I would like to give a lot of credit to TikTok as well, and obviously all those people who put dance covers and singing covers on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, yeah, all these.
Okay, so I think Smita Dahal ma'am is here with us. So let's welcome Mrs. Smita Dahal ma'am. She started her career as a child, and she's famous for hit songs like Mayale Malai Bolayo and Mayalu Timi Kata Chhau. So let's welcome Mrs. Smita Dahal.
Hi everyone, thank you so much. First of all, thank you Halt Prize community for inviting me. And happy Dasai to you all. And yes, let's celebrate this Dasai, taking all the safety precautions, safety measures. So yeah.
So yeah, ma'am, here we have Saswat Kharkasar with us. So do you know each other?
Hi, yes, I do know him, but we've not met in person, but I do know him.
Yeah,
Hi, nice meeting
hello,
you.
hello. Me too.
And also we have Ivana Manandar. She is Miss Nepal 2015. She has also joined us.
Wow, hello, hi.
Guys have sung beautifully, by the way, Sashwat. I love your song. I wanted to say this to you. I think now I'm going to say it virtually. The second song, Batash, I've listened to it several times. Congratulations. Great, I think, articulation, and I think the whole lyrics was really, really touching. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Smita. I would love to and look forward to listen to you. Happy Dasai, and I think, yeah, look forward.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Best
Thank
wishes.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Now I'd like to move to Smita ma'am. So Smita ma'am, would you mind singing a song for us?
All right, so as Mayalu Timi Kata Chhau is my most, let's say, hit song, so I'll be singing that one.
Good luck.
Mayalu timi kata chhau, Mayalu timi kata chhau, Mayalu timi kata chhau, Mayalu timi kata chhau. Dararara dararara darkyo pani darara, dararara dararara darkyo pani darara. भिजे मतनी थ्रुकै मुटु काम्यो थररा, भिजे मतनी थ्रुकै मुटु काम्यो थररा. उता लाग्ने ठाउँ छैन लौ न कता जाऊँ, उता लाग्ने ठाउँ छैन लौ न कता जाऊँ. मायालु तिमी कता छौ, मायालु तिमी कता छौ. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I wonder how can someone have such a beautiful voice like Smita ma'am you have. Thank you so much. So I would like to move to Saswat sir again. Saswat sir, would you mind singing a third song for us right now?
Okay, so I'm gonna do a cover now, which is one of my favorite songs of Roy John Chetley, and it's Bistare Bistare. Bistare, bistare, duveito tiम्रो मायाको सागर ममा. दुःख आँसु सबै बिर्सेर रुन चाहन्छु तिमी न्यानो कालो ममा. खुला पङ्ख फिजाए आकाशमा उडेको झरी झै मुक्त हुन चाहन्छु म तिम्रो मायामा डुल्न चाहन्छु तिम्रै मायामा रम्न चाहन्छु सहारा पनि देऊ तिमी मेरो खुसी बनिदेऊ. सहारा पनि देऊ तिमी मेरो खुसी बनिदेऊ अन्धकारको उज्याली सुनेरी रातको जुन तिमी मेरो बनिदेऊ अन्धकारको उज्याली सुनेरी रातको जुन तिमी मेरो बनिदेऊ Sistari, sistari, गाउँदैछ यो मनले गीत तिम्रै नामको बिस्तारै बिस्तारै Sistari, sistari, बिस्तारै बिस्तारै Sistari, sistari. Thank you, and sorry for my nervous voice.
Oh my God, that was so beautiful, sistery. Sorry, Mistari. That was incredible. Thank you. Sasu sir, are you running out of your time? Or can you stay with us?
Yeah, I can stay.
Okay, I would like to move to Smita ma'am, then I will get back to you, Sasu sir. So Smita ma'am,
Yes.
when did you start your singing? What was your age when you started singing?
I started singing professionally when I was 11 years old.
Oh my God, that's just a small age. Someone.
Yeah, I had my first album released when I was 11 years old.
So, Mr. Vikrant Pandya, would you like to show some of the pictures of Miss Smita ma'am?
Yes, okay.
Oh my God, you look so cute in this picture.
Oh God, yes. I was 11 years old then. This was the time when I had my first album released. And this picture was taken at, I think, Nachkar. That was my first stage show. Yeah.
Oh my God, and this, I think you look more younger than the previous one. What's your age in this picture?
At this time also, like I was 11 or 12 years old. Not younger than that, because that was the first stage show. Okay, Miru?
That's incredible. And so, ma'am, did you face any problems while starting your career as a singer?
Problem भन्दा पनि yes, at first I was very nervous, especially doing stage shows हरू. तर first मा चाहिँ it was like easy because I had interest in this field. I wanted to become a singer since I was very little. So I did not face any problem. Like I enjoyed singing, and actually I took singing classes after I had my album released. Okay, so that's one interesting part. So yes, that's it.
आज चाहिँ स्मिता म्यामको गीत सुन्न चाहिँ धेरैजना खुसी भएर कुरेर बसिरहनु भएको छ शाश्वतजी र स्मिता म्याम आउने भनेपछि दे वर लाइक यति नै धेरै एक्साइटेड के सो अब फेरि अर्को एउटा गीत चाहिँ गाइदिनुहुन्छ कि म्याम
हुन्छ म चाहिँ मेरो आफ्नै भुर्र भुर्र भन्ने गीत which is a little different from whatever genre I'm trying right now. यो मन उड्यो चरा बनी आकाशमा यो मन उड्यो चरा बनी आकाशमा भुर्र 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 बतासमा तिम्रो चोखो माया पाउने आशमा यो मन उड्यो चरा बनी आकाशमा बादल पारी फूले फूलको घर बनाउला रथमा चढै तिमीलाई मलाई जाउला तिमी सँगै जिन्दगीको यात्रा गर्ने हो तिमी सँगै जिन्दगीको यात्रा गर्ने हो बाँच्दा सँगै बाँच्ने मर्दा सँगै मर्ने हो चोखो माया पाउने छौ सुबासमा चोखो माया पाउने छौ सुबासमा यो मन उड्यो चरा बनी आकाशमा. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was beautiful. Saswat sir? Saswat sir, do you want to say something to Smita ma'am?
I'm speechless, literally. She's singing so beautifully. Like I have no words. I have no words. There's so much feel into it, and I'm really intrigued by it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Saswat sir, I have a question for you. अहिले चाहिँ कोरोना भाइरस नभएको भए चाहिँ म चाहिँ अहिले स्टेजमा लाइभ कन्सर्ट गरिरहेको हुन्थेँ. मेरो करियर चाहिँ अहिले भन्दा पनि बेटर हुन्थ्यो. अहिले म इमर्ज गरिरहेको छु. अझै पनि मेरो करियर चाहिँ बेटर हुन्थ्यो होला जस्तो चाहिँ कतिको लाग्छ?
त्यस्तो लाग्छ because stage shows त obviously गरि नै रहन्थ्यो होला मैले. तर त्यही हो, looking at it positively, I know, because every music, every song that I've made, I've made it in my room. This is the room that I've made everything. I know. So if I had to go there directly, I would be really, really, really scared. Like Smita said, there's a nervousness and then my stage, man. It would be really difficult. So I'm trying to develop my skills as a performer. I have not been trained at all. And so how can I make myself better? How can I make my music experience with all of you? How can I connect with my audience better, listeners better? So yeah, I'm doing the work.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. तर कोरोना भाइरस सकिसकेपछि अथवा नसकिँदाखेरि पनि हजुरको चाहिँ सक्सेस लेभल चाहिँ बढी नै रहेको छ. गुड लक फर योर फ्युचर. सो स्मिता म्यामको लागि पनि सेम क्वेसन. अहिले कोरोना भाइरस नभएको भए चाहिँ म कुन लेभलमा पुग्थेँ होला? अहिले कोरोनाले गरेर मेरो करियर अगाडि बढिरहेको छैन जस्तो चाहिँ कतिको लाग्छ हजुरलाई?
मलाई चाहिँ त्यो लाग्छ किनभने मैले स्टेज सोहरू मैले सानो हुँदाखेरि अघिको फोटोजहरूमा देख्न सक्छु. सानो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ मैले स्टेज सोहरू निकै नै गरेको थिएँ हैन. तर जब ठुलो हुँदै गएँ अनि स्टडिजमा चाहिँ एकदमै ह्याम्पर गर्यो. अलरेडी यो सिङ्गिङ लाइनमा गीतहरू गाएर नै अलिकति पढाइलाई ह्याम्पर गरिरहेको थियो. अनि स्टेज सोहरू पनि गर्यो भने त अति नै बिग्रिन्छ भनेर चाहिँ मैले स्टेज सोहरू नै गरेको थिइनँ कि ठुलो भइसकेपछि चाहिँ. अनि स्टेज सो गर्न थालेको मेरो ब्याचलर्स भर्खरै सक्यो. अनि सकिने बेलामा चाहिँ अब चाहिँ स्टार्ट गर्नु पर्ला भनेर मैले 3टादेखि 4वटा चाहिँ गरेको थिएँ. अनि त्यसपछि पनि कति धेरै सोहरू बाँकी थियो कि जुन चाहिँ कोभिडले गर्दा सबै क्यान्सल गर्नु पर्यो. सो कोभिड नभएको भए चाहिँ अभियसली अझै म स्टेजमा गएर चाहिँ गाइरा हुन्थ्यो होला, अझै राम्रो हुन्थ्यो होला भन्ने चाहिँ मलाई पनि लाग्छ.
हजुर, कोरोना भाइरस छिटै सकियोस् र हजुरहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले स्टेजमा हेर्न पाऊँ भनेर हाम्रो चाहिँ एउटा हुन्छ नि इच्छा छ. सो लाइक अब चाहिँ के गरौँ भने फेरि एउटा गीत गाउनु पर्छ होला. शाश्वतजी अथवा स्मिता म्याम, एनीवान जो चाहिँ रेडी हुनुहुन्छ, प्लिज क्यान यु सिङ अ सङ? शाश्वतजी रेडी हुनुहुन्छ?
Yeah, I can sing one. I can sing. So this song is I've heard this song a lot in my childhood days. So this is Nachaheko by the H band. हेको होइन तिमीलाई चाहन्थे सुनी सुनी परिलाई दिल की रानी तिमीलाई फुलसारी सजाएको थिए दिल की रानी तिमीलाई फुलसारी सजाएको संसारभरि मैले केवल तिमीलाई नै फसेको थिएँ गर्नु सक्थ्यो कि वास्ता चाहेको होइन तिमीलाई म चाहन्थे सुनी सुनी परिलाई. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Actually, thanks to you for singing. So, Smita ma'am, would you like to sing a song again? We're running out of time, I guess.
Okay, I'll do a cover song. तिम्रो मायाले बाँधेर राख भन्ने गीतको है. तिम्रो मायाले बाँधेर राख मेरो सिरानी होस् तिम्रो काख तिम्रो मायाले बाँधेर राख मेरो सिरानी होस् तिम्रो काख जान नदिऊ मलाई अब टाढा माया यो होस् अझै गाढा तिम्रो मायाले बाँधेर राख मेरो सिरानी होस् तिम्रो काख मन मेरो तिमीबाट टाढा नजाओस् मन मेरो तिमीबाट टाढा नजाओस् आधीहुरी सम्बन्धमा कहिल्यै नआओस् आधीहुरी सम्बन्धमा कहिल्यै नआओस् तिम्रो मुटुमै थुनेर राख मेरो सिरानी होस् तिम्रो काख जान नदिऊ मलाई अब टाढा माया यो होस् अझै गाढा. Thank you.
Thank you, Smita ma'am. कस्तो ब्युटिफुल्ली गीत गाउनुहुन्छ होइन हजुरले अहिले म्युजिकहरू केही पनि नभइकन मुखबाट मात्रै गीत गाइरहनु भएको छ त्यही पनि कस्तो मधुरो कस्तो ब्युटिफुल्ली गाउन सक्नुहुन्छ यो एउटा हुन्छ नि प्र्याक्टिस प्लस गड गिफ्ट के भन्ने यु आर जस्ट इन्क्रेडिबल म्याम. सो अब चाहिँ हामी लास्टतिर आइसक्यौँ अब एन्ड गर्नुभन्दा पहिला शाश्वतजीलाई स्मिता म्याम के भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ कस्तो लाग्यो आजको एकअर्कासँग इन्टरेक्सन अनि गीत गाउँदाखेरि कस्तो लाग्यो शाश्वतजीलाई के भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ?
एकदमै खुसी लाग्यो मैले यहाँको गीत चाहिँ एकदमै सुनेको हो होइन एकदम राम्रो लागेको टिकटक पनि गरिरहेको गीत हो सो यसरी भर्चुअली भए पनि भेट्न पाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ एकदमै खुसी लाग्यो अनि भोइसको त कुरै नगरौँ एकदमै म त फ्यान हो तपाईको एकदम मन पर्यो.
Thank you so much. Like literally virtually by any stage share gonna buy it's literally an honor for me. really, I can't express. I'm really so honored. Thank you, everyone.
दुवैजनालाई चाहिँ हल प्राइज एट आइओई टिमको लागि केही भन्न मन छ?
थ्याङ्क यू सो मच मलाई चाहिँ इन्भाइट गरिदिनु भएकोमा। सुरुमा चाहिँ मलाई मेरो एउटा साथीले भनेको थियो होइन, अनि सुन्दाखेरि नै वाउ एकदमै राम्रो प्रोग्राम रहेछ, आई सुड जोइन दिस प्रोग्राम भनेर चाहिँ मलाई आएको थियो। पछि यहाँहरूले चाहिँ मलाई मेल गरेर इन्भाइट गर्नुभयो होइन, अनि आई वाज अलरेडी रेडी हुन चाहिँ म जोइन गर्छु भनेर बसिरहेको थिएँ। सो थ्याङ्क यू सो मच, आइ एम सो ह्याप्पी टु जोइन दिस प्रोग्राम अहिले। थ्याङ्क यू।
Actually, thanks to you for joining us. Saswat sir, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, same story. मलाई पनि एकजना साथीले इन्भाइट गर्नुभएको थियो, अनि देख्ने बित्तिकै I was like, yeah, I should do this. It was like for a good cause and it's really amazing. I have heard about it and yeah, I had a wonderful time. अनि happy दसैँ everyone. Celebrate गरौँ यो दसैँ चाहिँ responsibly, अनावश्यक भिडभाडहरू नगरिदिउँ अनि yeah, त्यही हो. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I wish, I hope as हामीले हजुरहरू दुवैजनाको एक्सपेक्टेसन चाहिँ मिट गर्न सक्यौँ होला। अनि थ्याङ्क यू सो मच फर जोइनिङ अस। बिफोर मैले हजुरहरूलाई बाई भन्नुभन्दा पहिला चाहिँ हामी एउटा सानो सेल्फी लिन चाहन्छौँ हजुरसँग दुवैजनासँग। सो बी रेडी फर सेल्फी। सो सेल्फी प्लिज। So I think selfie पनि लिइसक्नुभयो हाम्रो मिडिया म्यानेजर म्यामले। सो थ्याङ्क यू सो मच शाश्वत खड्का सर अनि स्मिता दाहाल म्याम। हजुर दुवैजनालाई आज हामीले जति थ्याङ्क यू भने पनि पुग्दैन, किनभने 4:30 बजेदेखि आएर हामीसँग जोइन भएर बस्नु भएको छ, गीत गाउनुभयो, गफ गर्नुभयो, आफ्नो लाइफको एक्सपिरियन्सहरू सेयर गर्नुभयो। लाइफको हुन्छ नि अब पर्सनल लाइफ त नभनौँ तर फ्यामिलीबाट सबै कुरा सेयर गरेर हामीसँग 3-4 राम्रो राम्रो मिठो मिठो गीत गाएर चाहिँ हामीसँग सेयर गर्नुभयो स्टेज अथवा यो जुम भनौँ। सो थ्याङ्क यू सो मच फर जोइनिङ अस अनि ह्याप्पी दसैँ बोथ अफ यू, सेफ भएर मनाउनु होला। अनि हजुरहरू दुवैजना चाहिँ इमर्जिङ नै हुनुहुन्छ अनि त्यसपछि अझै धेरै इमर्ज हुनु होला। थ्याङ्क यू सो मच फर जोइनिङ अस टुडे। ह्याप्पी दसैँ, नमस्ते।
Thank you, happy दसैँ।
Okay, thank you, happy दसैँ. Bye bye guys.
So above next further sessions will be conducted by Apeksha Ghimiri, and she still has a huge announcement to make today. So let's welcome Apeksha Ghimiri. She is social media manager and she has a huge announcement to make for us.
Okay, now we have a stand-up comedian whose popularity peaked after YouTube show called Baki Samachar. I must say he's not only a comedian, he is a computer engineer graduate from Institute of Engineering, Pulcho campus. Over 6 years of experience of web development, graphic designing and programming, an entrepreneur who founded Strong Code Labs, a web development company, full stack developer at Kela. And now everyone, let's welcome Mr. Ayush Shrestha. Please welcome, sir.
Wow, how did you know all that? कति धेरै रिसर्च गरेको. How are you guys doing? Like, if you can पछाडि background noise आउँदैन भने चाहिँ you can unmute. I like to interact with people. I'm not like guitar बजाउनु छैन नि त. So, I'm not an introvert. I like to talk to people. के छ हालखबर? Everybody from Pulcho क्या?
No, I guess not everyone.
Most, but around
Most of them.
Most of you are from
Most of
Pulcho.
us are from Pulchok.
Yeah, like I said, like she said, I'm IOEK product owner पनि, and like this feels like, it feels like I'm coming to an ex-girlfriend's birthday because celebration ko mood छ, but all these bad memories, back exam लागेको, canteen ko samosa, त्यो पनि आइरहेछ. So it's a bittersweet, but thank you so much for inviting me. You guys are doing a great job. I really एकैछिन म मिटिङमा छु. Sorry about that. But yeah, like congratulations to all of you guys. You're doing this. This is fun. के हो this नयाँ नौलो तिमीहरुको?
तनाव छ दाइ.
Okay, अनि के हुन्छ त यहाँ आज what am I because I don't know अब यहाँ शाश्वत सिंह आएर बजाएर गइसक्यो शाश्वत के शाश्वत
खड्का
खड्का सरी शाश्वत खड्कालाई फलो गर्नु पर्दाखेरि त गाह्रो हुन्छ नि त मलाई उसले बतास चलाएर गइसक्यो मैले के गर्ने
हजुरले पनि गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ
के गर्नु रे
May I ask you a question, sir?
Yeah, sure. Also, sir nabana, dai bana. I'm not a sir material.
Dai bana, sir na bana. Is this good? Better?
Yeah, dai is like I'm a dai khalko manche ni ta. I'm a dai material. You know, some people are boyfriend materials. I'm a dai material. Everybody makes me dai all the time.
Don't have girlfriend then?
Huh? I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have it. Like, do I look like someone who has a girlfriend? It's like costly patyauncha. You know, that's why I do comedy because I personality छैन त्यही भएर I have to be funny. That's how I talk to women. So no, I don't have a girlfriend.
मैले रिसर्च गर्दाखेरि फाइन्ड आउट गरेको थिएँ कि when you are starting trade pens and you have borrowed your money from your girlfriend.
How did you know this? How? But yeah, it was a long time ago. It was like 5-6 years ago. So त्यो बेला थियो and अहिले चाहिँ छैन. Sadly.
Music
When
चाहिँ
did you
कस्तो लाग्छ
realize-
हजुरलाई? Sorry to interrupt.
Carry on.
अब कस्तो
question mix भयो.
Sorry. तीनटा साइडबाट सँगै आइरहेको छ अहिले झन् बहिनीलाई अपेक्षा बहिनीले नै कुरा गर्दा ठिक हुन्छ
First of all, before she asks, मलाई अपेक्षादेखि डर लाग्न थालिसक्यो अब चाहिँ. How far did she go on her research? Does she know where I was born?
No.
Does she know मैले मम्मीको पर्सबाट कति पैसा झिकेको छु अहिलेसम्म? Like I am scared now.
I भन्न सक्नुहुन्छ? I don't know.
No, please ask question.
When did you realize that you can make people laugh?
When did I realize? I have yet to realize. I don't know if I can make people laugh because I don't know if people are laughing. They like कहिलेकाहीँ त मलाई त kindly मान्छेहरूले दया गरेर हाँस्दै जस्तो लाग्छ हैन, but I don't know because it's like I'm not a funny person in real life. Most of the times I'm very serious and काम गरेर आउँछु like and I'm funny among friends maybe sometimes, but only if there are other funny people. Then I'm like a normal average person तर जुन exceptionally funny खालको मान्छे चाहिँ होइन म. It's just that like when I started watching comedy and I started watching comedians, I really liked what they were doing and I wanted to figure it out how they were doing it. It's almost like, you know, it's almost like engineering work now, okay? And you look at something and you try to figure out, okay, how is this working? What's happening? And that's what I was trying to figure out. And I stumbled into comedy and I started doing it. But yeah, like there's no one point where I thought, oh, I'm funny. I don't think I'm funny. It's just that I can write jokes and I can tell them. That's all that I am. I don't know if that makes sense.
How do you create jokes?
Jokes first of all, it's like the first thing is if I have to find it funny, right? Like if there's a thought,
do you observe situation and create comedy, or can you create comedy just in your head?
It's both. The situation happens आफै situation भइरा हुन्छ and then I try to figure out के भइराछ भनेर, and most of the times it's just a funny thought. कहाँबाट आउँछ थाहा छैन त्यो तर दिमागमा आउँछ अनि like सुरुमा चाहिँ थाहा हुँदैन किन funny छ भनेर. I know that there is something and then I write it and rewrite it until I can make it funny for everybody else. So सुरुमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ नि like there's a thought, a funny thought आउँछ दिमागमा, and then I know that it's funny, but I haven't figured out a way to say it. And like the writing is that process, right? लेख्दाखेरि चाहिँ I have to find a way to write so that no, it's not just me who finds it funny, it's everybody who finds it funny. अनि the like joke चाहिँ like एउटा थटबाट सुरु हुन्छ and then it has to come into paper.
You are a comedian and an entrepreneur too. So what do you want to be called? Comedian or an entrepreneur?
Like I don't think I'm an entrepreneur anymore. I used to be. Like I dabbled in 3 or 4 startups, छुट्टा all of them failed, and that's when I realized मलाई आउँदैन रहेछ भनेर. अनि so at the moment I don't think I'm an entrepreneur, but like there's the भित्री किरा चाहिँ छ, entrepreneur वाला किरा चाहिँ छ. So like in 3 or 4 years I might start something again, but at this moment I'm just a comedian. And like entrepreneur saying, I think I need more time to learn a lot of things.
Wish you all the best for your entrepreneur life too.
Yeah, like मैले अब पुलचोकमा हुँदाखेरि नै हो, I think 3rd year मा हुँदाखेरि I started one company which failed. It was called Strong Code Labs. It was web development company. अब त्यो बेला चाहिँ अब 3rd year कोही छ 3rd year को को छ धेरै जना नि 3rd year इन्जिनियरिङको 3rd year भनेको सबभन्दा कन्फिडेन्ट हुने टाइम हो क्या सबभन्दा आफूलाई म यो खतरा मलाई आउँछ सबै कुरा चाहिँ 3rd year मा हुन्छ हैन किनकि 1st year मा त नयाँ हुन्छ ओहो के हुन्छ नि सब कुरा नयाँ हुन्छ 2nd year मा हुँदाखेरि बल्ल यस्तो भइरा हुन्छ 3rd year मा बल्ल अलिअलि प्रोग्रामिङ सिकाउँछ अब त म खतरा गर्छु म इन्जिनियर भइसक्यो लास्ट कन्फिडेन्स आउँछ 3rd year मा 4th year मा अनि मेजर प्रोजेक्ट गर्नु परेपछि अनि त्यसपछि अलिकति हैन पढ्नु पर्दो रहेछ भनेर त्यो बेला थाहा हुने सो 3rd year मा हुँदाखेरि केही पनि आउँदैन थियो अनि के रे त्यो कन्फिडेन्समा म के रे एउटा वेब डेभलपमेन्ट कम्पनी खोल्दिए 1 वर्ष लगाएर मैले 3टा प्रोजेक्ट गरे होला एन्ड अल अफ द मनी वेन्ट इन्टु आवर रेन्ट अनि यसरी हुँदैन रहेछ बाबु अब चाहिँ सिक्नु पर्दो रहेछ भनेर आई लेफ्ट इट अनि त्यसपछि नै 4th year मा हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ आई स्टार्टेड थ्रेड पेन्ट्स विथ Sabin Bhandari and Ashish Acharya, who are both IOE alumni, मेरो classmates नै थियो. So we started that. That went a while. तर 1 वर्षपछि मैले त्यो पनि छोड्दै and I started doing job because I realized मलाई धेरै कुरा थाहा रहन्छ भनेर.
Okay, IUC as a music eve छ हैन हाम्रो फेस्टिभल स्पेशल फेस्टिभलको लागि सो अघि हजुरले शाश्वत चिर स्मिता पछि के भन्ने मसँग केही भन्नलाई छैन म्युजिक इभमा भनेर भन्नुभएको थियो सो म्युजिकको बारेमा हजुरको चाहिँ के छ हजुरको सोचाइ चाहिँ के छ म्युजिकको लागि
Oh, music. I try doing music every once. Like आफै म गिटार अलिअलि बजाउँछु तर just not like स्टेजमा जान लायक छैन तर that's my favorite pastime. But like about music is like I don't understand why people are impressed when people sing. That's I don't get it because so many people get like हरेक गल्लीमा एउटा गीत गाउने मान्छे त हुन्छ नि त हैन सो मलाई त्यो जुन यस्तो सिंगिङ इज अ भेरी गुड ट्यालेन्ट तर वो वाला चाहिँ लाग्दैन स्पेशली when you watch reality TV show मलाई अचम्म लाग्छ एउटा मान्छे गीत गाउँछ नि ओ गर्छ I don't get that because you know like how many people can sing 1 billion 2 billion I think 2 billion people can sing that's not rare okay like think about it reality TV show मा जान्छ हैन अनि त्यसपछि गीत गाउँछ ओ क्या खतरा गर्छ अनि त्यसपछि के रे घरमा कोले गाउँछ भने मेरो दिदीले मेरो दाइले मेरो बाउले मेरो त्यो घरमा पनि स्पेशल छैन के त्यो मान्छे हुन्छ नि so I'm saying that singing is very nice thing but I don't think it's rare enough to be surprised every time every year top 20 singers haru निकालिरहेछ and we have to be amazed त्यो चाहिँ म बुझ्दिन
I have a question here. Like like am I audible, right?
Yes, you are.
So like you accepted our invitation, So what made you accepting like our invitation? Miss Nepalहरू हेरेर हो कि स्मिता म्याम हेरेर हो कि like genuinely नै आउनु भएको?
ए म त शाश्वतलाई हेर्न आएको नो नो
आइयुसी इन्भिटेसन पठाउने म अनि मेरो नाम चाहिँ छैन
तिमी त छौ नि के अरे सुप्रिमाले नभएको म आउँदै आउँदैन अरू कसैले भनेको भए नि आउँदैन थिएँ बट के अरे शाश्वत इज अल्सो अ बिग रिजन बिकज आई वाज शाश्वतले गीत गाउँदाखेरि मैले हेरिरहेको थिएँ सबैजनालाई लाइक केटीहरू भन्दा केटाहरू बढी ब्लस भइरहेको थियो आई डोन्ट नो वाइ
कस्तो गडबड
I'm just saying. Biplop ekdam मस्किरहेको थियो I think he sings. Biplop, do you sing?
Not really, but sometimes when I'm in bathroom.
Biplop ekdam मस्किरहेको थियो नवीन एकदम मस्किरहेको थियो but yeah शाश्वत
त्यो सिंगल्सहरु चाहिँ बढी मस्क्या हो बुझ्नु न
मिस नेपाल हेर्न आको भनेर त भन्थे तर अहिले कोही अनलाइन छैन त्यही भएर किन मस्का लगाउनु
Okay. So I think म एउटा क्वेशन सोध्छु है अब लाइक you have been into entrepreneurship को पनि सोध्छ comedian को पनि सोध्छ so after like when you are at the age of 50s हैन where do you see yourself or visualize yourself?
I think I'll start drumming.
At 50.
At 50s, I think I'll start drumming because drumming is something that I've always wanted. I'm at least my life philosophy चाहिँ के हो भने like यो identity career भन्ने कुराहरु चाहिँ it should be fluid जस्तो लाग्छ के you should not limit yourself by calling being just one thing. Toko भन्दा म photographer म engineer don't be just one thing you can be multiple things. You know, and like I always try to do something and see how far I can take it. And so like I wanted to be an engineer and I became an engineer, started working, and then like I think that in 60s 70s 80s whatever usma I want people to remember as different things, you know. So like maybe, and even at that time I would be trying something new. Like I really want to try drumming. So I don't अहिले गर्दिन होला तर maybe 30s 40s मा पुगिसकेपछि चाहिँ I'll start drumming जस्तो लागिरहेछ मलाई just because it's not because I want to make a career out of it just because
you see समाचार भनेको एकदमै फर्मल कुरा हो समाचारबाट चाहिँ इन्फर्मेसन फ्लो हुन्छ हैन राम्रो इन्फर्मेसन फ्लो हुन्छ अघि अपेक्षा बहिनीले भनेको जस्तै हजुर चाहिँ बाँकी समाचारबाट त धेरै फेमस हुनुभयो नि त हैन पपुलर हुनुभयो बाँकी समाचारबाट हो त्यो समाचार जस्तै एउटा राम्रो प्रपर इन्फर्मेसन फ्लो गराउनेलाई डेभिएट गरेर एकदमै उटपटाङ समाचार बनाएर अनि त्यसरी चाहिँ के अरे रिलिज गर्ने त्यस्तो खालको दिमाग सोच चाहिँ कताबाट आयो हजुरको
यो के अरे म 4 वर्ष पुलचोकमा बोर भएर बसे हो नि त अनि बोर हुँदाखेरि दिमाग चल्छ अनि यस्ता आइडियाहरु थुप्रै छन् मेरो दिमागमा किनकि पढ्न त पढिएन मलाई डीएसपी त 3 चोटी लाग्यो हैन सो यस्तो आइडियाहरु खेलिरा हुन्छ सरले यता पढाइराख्दाखेरि अनि एउटा डायरीमा लेखिरा थिए अनि त्यसपछि छ यस्तो धेरै उटपट्याङ आइडियाहरु you can expect more no I mean
DSP को होमवर्क छ भने पठाइ
DSP को मसँग DSP को
I think कमेडी भन्दा पनि पुलचोकहरुको रियुनियन भइराको छ
यो DSP को यो बुक छ मैले यो लाइक एक्जाम को बेलामा मात्रै खोले हाल्दिन्छु म अहिले कुरा नगरौँ भयो DSP को त कुरा नगरौँ 3 चोटी लाग्यो मलाई but yeah, I enjoyed programming a lot. Tara like mathematics and physics ma chai I was always bad. A question ke thera मैले बिर्से त्यो आइडियाहरु कहाँबाट आउँछ भनेर त्यही I get bored a lot. I get bored very easily. अनि so I have to I think about things, I do things अनि गरिरहन्छु अनि कहिले Instagram filter बनायो कहिले के बनायो अनि I get into trouble a lot because
हजुरले भने अनुसार चाहिँ बोर भएपछि चाहिँ हजुरले आइडिया आउँछ
yeah my biggest fear is being bored. Yeah? And I am constantly trying to make myself not bored. And
So that idea धेरै generate हुन्छ भनेर.
Like idea generation is a byproduct of me not wanting to be bored. म एकदमै चाँडै बोर हुन्छु. Like part of the reason I started like a startup at 4th year is because 4th year मा लास्टै बोरिङ टिचरहरू थिए. अति नै बोरिङ टिचरहरू थिए. क्लास आउनु पनि पर्छ तर पढाइ पनि राख छैनन्. जा गएर मेजर प्रोजेक्ट गर भन्छ, खाली दिमाग खराब भइसक्यो. लेट्स डु समथिङ, लेट्स ह्याभ सम फन भनेर सुरु गरे मैले.
दाइ यो लाइभ भइरहेछ है आइओको पेजबाट.
आइओबाट म 6 वर्ष पहिला निस्केँ. आई डोन्ट केयर एनिमोर. मास्टर्स नि गर्नु छैन मलाई आइओबाट. आई डोन्ट केयर एनिमोर.
त्यहाँ प्रुफ पनि छ पछाडि आइओई लिभ गरिसकेको त्यहाँ हेर्नु त. Yeah.
That's the only thing that I have left.
Oh my god.
No, but IOE Pulchok was a lot of fun. It's जे जति भने पनि like teachers were great. मैले नपढे हो, टिचरहरूले के गाली गर्नु हैन, मैले नपढे हो नि त. I was too bored. It was not for me. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay. हजुर चाहिँ एकजना इन्जिनियर हुनुहुन्छ, कमेडियन पनि हुनुहुन्छ हैन. अब त्यसमाथि पनि पुल्चोकको ग्रेजुएट हुनुहुन्छ. सो हजुरले आफ्नो फिल्डमा आफू हुन्छ नि कमेडी होस् अथवा यो जति पनि यो पढाइको बाहेक चाहिँ जति पनि यो वेजहरू छ नि त्यहाँ चाहिँ आफू जस्तो इन्जिनियर, आफू जस्तो ट्यालेन्टेड मान्छेहरू चाहिँ भेटाउनु हुन्छ कि हुँदैन?
म जस्तो ट्यालेन्टेड मान्छे त कहाँ हुन्छ? No, kidding. But yeah, like no, there are a lot of talented people. A lot of I see a lot of comedians are very एकदमै intellectual people. Chhan comedies go fraternity ma, and they're creative. They're writers. The people that I work with, Yozana is very intelligent. Vishal, Sajan, they're all pretty intelligent, pretty creative people. Yeah, I enjoy working with them. And yeah, कस्तो हुन्छ भने at least अहिलेसम्म धेरै ठाउँमा काम गरे तर like comediansहरूको circle is अलिकति छुट्टै रमाइलो हुन्छ because these are the people that see things a bit differently than other people. And we're always trying to come up with a new angle of defining something. And that's always interesting. That's always I don't get bored with comedians. With engineers I get bored a lot.
मसँग एउटा सेफ्टी पिन छ हैन, मसँग एउटा सेफ्टी पिन छ. मलाई लाग्छ यो सेफ्टी पिनले चाहिँ हाम्रो कपडाहरू त्यो गर्न जोइन गर्न हेल्प गर्छ हैन अर्जेन्ट परेको बेलामा. हजुरले त यो सेफ्टी पिनले कपडा जोइन गर्छ भनेर त पक्कै पनि देख्नुहुन्न होला. हजुरको एउटा उटपटाङ माइन्डमा चाहिँ यो चाहिँ कस्तो के छ? यो चाहिँ केले
No, like the first thing that I don't understand is why is it called a safety pin? How is that safe? Like, can you give it to a child? How is it a safety pin? It's a dangerous pin. Okay, that's what it should be called. Like, it's a false advertisement. Sabbanda suruta. Okay, how is it safety pin? It's a dangerous pin. Like safe bhako bhayo bachharलाई दिन मिल्दैन. ल बाबु खेला भनेर दिनुहुन्थ्यो. That's that. Yeah, safety pin. Like I haven't ever used a safety pin. There's no reason for a guy like me to use a safety pin. Like the only use of safety pin I have done is to hatma yesto chiranu, which explains how stupid I used to be as a child. And garden timarle yahaबाट यस्तो हुन्थ्यो नि हैन. That's the only thing that I've done with safety pin. So त्यति मात्र थाहा छ मलाई.
मलाई थाहा थियो आयुषी मलाई थाहा थियो आयुषी हजुरले यो सेफ्टी पिन पाउनु भयो भने यसको पनि जोक बनाउनुहुन्छ भनेर थ्याङ्क यू सो मच ओ माई गॉड कस्तो रमाइलो भयो लाइक एकदमै धेरै बेस्ट अपेक्षाले केही भन्न लागेको थियो अपेक्षा प्लिज कन्टिन्यू
या प्लिज
हजुर कमेडियन हुनुहुन्छ अनि अहिले पेन्डेमिकले गर्दा चाहिँ कमेडियन स्ट्यान्डअप कमेडियनले चाहिँ कतिको एफेक्ट गरिरहेको छ त
Oh, very much because unlike other art forms like singing, comedy, त्यो कोठामा बसेर कमेडी निस्किदैन क्या हुन्छ नि कमेडी क्यान नट बी क्रिएटेड इन अ भ्याक्युम आई निड अडियन्स बिकज मेरो दिमागमा त 12-27 कुरा खेलिरहेको हुन्छ एन्ड आई हेभ टु फिल्टर इट and I have to go in front of people and tell them, hey, is this funny? Is this funny? And when they laugh, then I know what's funny and what's not funny, and I have to get rid of all the rest. And that's why so like lot of thoughts come in, but 90% of it is garbage. It's just like a startup ecosystem. 90% garbage huncha phalnu parcha, 10% चाहिँ and it has to come from your audience बाट नै आउँछ क्या अनि लाइक जुन गीत गाउँदाखेरि त कोठा बन्द गरेर गिटार गरेर गीत लेख्न सकिन्छ हैन राम्रो गीत लेख्न सकिन्छ तर कमेडी चाहिँ इट निड्स अडियन्स बिना कमेडी निस्किदैन सो आई एम भेरी लाइक द स्टेज इज द बिगेस्ट थिङ द्याट आई मिस बट या वी ट्राइङ इट यसरी जुममा पनि ट्राई चाहिँ गरिरहेछौँ बट इट्स नट द सेम हुन्छ नि एट दिस पोइन्ट लाइक I would choose a stage show over anything. So pandemic ले त लास्टै गएर छ and then like thought हरु पनि त्यो एकदमै छरपष्ट आउँछ डार्क आउँछ कहिले stupid आउँछ अनि I just don't know if it's something if it will work if it not work थाहा पनि हुँदैन के
Okay, thank you so much Ayush Dai. It's really a great talk with you and thank you so much for making us laugh.
Okay,
I hope you laughed.
Yes, we are.
So since you are Pulchok graduate, right? So like parafit ko memories hola ni pidi khaja ghar ko and like dhila ko.
प्याराफिटमा चाहिँ म धेरै गइन हैन किनकि त्यहाँ क्रिकेट खेल्थ्यो आई डोन्ट लाइक क्रिकेट हुन्छ नि साथीहरूले क्रिकेट खेल्न जाम भन्दा म घर गएर पढ्छु भन्थे सो प्याराफिटतिर चाहिँ त्यति गएन तर द बिगेस्ट थिङ आई मिस इज निरौला बाजेको इङ्ग्लिस लाइक मेरो इङ्ग्लिस सुध्रिन थालिसक्यो एन्ड आई हेट इट निरौला बाजेको इङ्ग्लिस चाहिँ म मिस गर्छु अनि त्यहाँ बसेर वाटरमेलन खाएको चाहिँ लास्टै याद आउँछ बट या आई प्रिटी मच पुल्चोक वाज अ गुड लाइफ 4 वर्षमा एन्ड लाइक यु आर इन पुल्चोक प्लिज इन्जोय इट किनकि पुल्चोक सकेपछि इट्स अल डाउन हिल त्यसपछि लाइफ गन सक सो इन्जोय इट रमाइलो हुन्छ
Thank you so much, Dai. We want to keep some memories of you with us, so let's take selfie.
Okay.
I want all of our participants to turn on your video.
के भन्नुहोस् के
हाम्रो मिडिया म्यानेजरले सेल्फी लिइसक्नुभयो होला
ओके थ्यांक यू सो मच फर
having me. Thank you. हामीसँग अझै म्युजिक हुँदैछ इफ यु वान्ट टु जोइन अस प्लिज स्टे इफ यु हेभ टाइम
यु सी यस्तो फेस्टिभलको बेलामा पनि हामीसँग जोइन भइदिनु भयो हैन एकदमै खुसी लाग्यो अनि प्लस हजुरले जसरी यो खुसी फैलाइदिनु भयो नि एकैचोटि यो सबैजना अहिले जति पनि स्क्रिनमा देखिरहनु भएको छ नि सबैजना चाहिँ चुप्प लागेर बस्ने खासै इन्टरेक्ट नगर्ने खालको मान्छेहरू हुनुहुन्छ त्यही पनि हजुरको चाहिँ एनर्जीले गरेर चाहिँ सबैजना चाहिँ इन्टरेक्ट गर्न आउनुभयो सो वी क्यान जस्ट इमेजिन हैन सो थ्याङ्क यू सो मच फर जोइनिङ अस एकदमै 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 धेरै 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 थ्याङ्क यू एकदमै धेरै चाहिँ त्यो रमाइलो चाहिँ फैलाइदिनु भयो हजुरले थ्याङ्क यू सो मच अनि मिस्टर जय किशन पाण्ड्या हजुरलाई पनि केही भन्नु छ आयुषीको लागि
I actually I prepared lots of things like
sure.
lots of एउटा closing remark that I prepared, but you know, like first time मैले नि सेसन एटेन्ड गरेको नि फ्रन्टमा बसेर पनि I work in the bank, you know, manager worksहरू हुन्छ, but actually I was writing and stopped, okay, and I actually asked question, you know, so it was like really good. I like you, hats off, यस्तो दाइ हुनुहुन्छ पुल्चोकको हैन. Thank you, Dai. Thanks for supporting our
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
आयुषताईको कुकी डङ्क भन्ने युट्युब च्यानल पनि छ, मैले लिङ्क सेयर गरेको छु, प्लिज सब्स्क्राइब.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
मेरो इन्स्टाग्रामको उ पनि राख्दियो, फलोवर्स बढाउनु पर्छ, फलोवर्स बढ्यो भने अनि मलाई स्पोन्सरहरूले पैसा दिन्छन्.
फेसबुक, इन्स्टाग्राम, ट्विटर सबैको राखिदिएको छु.
Oh, nice. But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I was like last यो पेन्डेमिकमा यो थट पनि आएर थियो that म चाहिँ पुल्चोकबाट चाहिँ अलिकति टाढा भएछु भनेर चाहिँ मलाई एकचोटि थट चाहिँ आएको थियो, and I was looking for ways to like पेन्डेमिक सकेपछि चाहिँ म एकचोटि पुल्चोक जान्छु एकचोटि चाहिँ भइरहेको थियो. But yeah, this is the second best thing. I hope that I will come to the college once and I get to perform in front of you all live on stage like that. That is my dream. Actually, garnu parcha tyo pani. Thank you for inviting. You guys are doing an amazing job. Like the one thing that I want to tell you is don't limit yourself. You guys can do anything. Then it's just you can look at any problem in life as an engineer and figure it out, and you can get it done. So I have a lot of faith in all of you guys, and congratulations and thank you.
आयुषी कमेडी चाहिँ कहिले पनि लाइफमा नछोड्नु होला अनि keep making us laugh है. हजुर कमेडी चाहिँ कहिले पनि नछोड्नु होला भनेर भन्छु. And this is best of luck for your future. You are doing just great job अनि एकदमै राम्रो. Good luck for your future and happy Dasai.
Thank you Suprema. Thank you Apeksha and everyone else.
Bye. So Apeksha, तिमीलाई केही भन्न लागेको थियो, so I pass things off to you.
Now we have a singer, Beshras Timil Shina, with us, who has very charming voice. Please welcome sir. Music Imaban, music सुन्नुपर्छ.
Hello. नमस्ते सबैजनालाई.
नमस्ते हजुर. सानो आइराको छ.
हो र? अब हेलो सुनिरहेको छ आवाज?
छ सुनिरहेको छ.
अब म चाहिँ पहिला चाहिँ अब I would like to thank Suprema है. उ चाहिँ मेरो प्लस 2 को साथी, उसले चाहिँ मलाई यस्तो गीत गाउने ठाउँमा जहाँ पनि बोलाएर हुन्छ क्या, त्यो देख मलाई एकदम खुसी लाग्छ हैन. अनि I would like to thank नेक्स्ट जेन है, राम्रो प्रोग्रामहरू गराउनु भएको छ, अस्ति पनि बोलाउनु भयो, खुसी लाग्यो. अब यति नै भन्छु है. अब म त गीतै सुरु गर्छु. फर्स्ट गीत चाहिँ म 3 पाते गाउँछु है, सबले सुन्नु भएको होला है. सुनिरहेछ है, राम्ररी नै सुनिरहेछ नि. देखेर तिमीलाई सम्झेर तिमीलाई मनै मनमा माया तिन पाते भइदियो मनै मनमा माया तिन पाते भइदियो विपनीमा तिमीलाई सपनीमा तिमीलाई हेरेर तिमीलाई सम्झेर तिमीलाई मेरो रस रङ्ग सबै तिमीतिर गइदियो मेरो रस रङ्ग सबै तिमीतिर गइदियो थ्याङ्क यू अनि अब मेरो अर्को गीत चाहिँ मरिजाउँ है यो पनि सबैले सुन्नुभएकै होला कुरा सबै थाहै छ नि तिमीलाई के भनौँ म पागल छु म तिम्रै लागि तिम्रो के नै छ र दोष तिमी हाँसेको हेरिरहे सधैँभरि यसरी नै तिम्रो आँखामा आँसु देखे मरिजाउँ सासै रोकी कुरा सबै थाहै छ तिमीलाई के भनौँ म पागल छु म तिम्रै लागि तिम्रो के नै छ र दोष लाखौँ प्रयास गर्दा पनि किन हो मलाई तिम्रो यादले सताउँछ माया के हो भनेर तिम्रै वरिपरि रहँदा यो मनले थाहा पाउँछ मरिजाऊ 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 तिमी नै हौ तिमी नै हौ मैले रोजेको तिमी नै थ्याङ्क यू अब चाहिँ मेरो लास्ट सँग
अब चाहिँ गाला पुच्छु के भन्ने गाइरा हुन्थ्यो नि तिमीले
यो चाहिँ भर्खर चलेको है गाला पुक्का भन्ने म पकाउँछु भनेर भन्ने होला सबले अहिले सुन्ने भएको होला है टिकटकमा पनि चलेको एकदमै यो चाहिँ मेरो लास्ट सङ साँच्चै रिसाकी हो र तिमी के रिसाको जस्तो गरेकी सुन न रिसाकी हो र तिमी के रिसाको जस्तो गरेकी थाहा छ नि तिमीलाई म पकाउँछु भनेर होला कि गाला पुक्क पारी हँसाउँछु भनेर होला कि गाला पुक्क पारी हँसाउँछु भनेर होला जो आज त फकाउन तिमीलाई के गर्छौ तिमी जो आज त फकाउन तिमीलाई तिमीलाई के गर्छौ तिमी साँच्चै रिसाकी हो र तिमी के रिसाको जस्तो गरिकी हिँड्छौ कि नानी तिमी कि फुलेर बस्छौ यही कालो बादल लागिसक्यो बतासको सहाराली हिँड्छौ कि नानी तिमी कि फुलेर बस्छौ यही कालो बादल लागिसक्यो बतासको सहाराली थाहा छ नि तिमीलाई म फकाउँछु भनेर कि गला पुख पारी हँसाउँछु भनेर होला कि गला पुख पारी हँसाउँछु भनेर होला जाऊ आज त फकाउन तिमीलाई के गर्छौ तिमी जाऊ आज त फकाउन तिमीलाई के गर्छौ तिमी साँच्चै रिसाको जस्तो गरिकी Thank you so much. यति नै हो
Thank you so much.
सुने है मैले
Thank you, Vesh. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, सुप्रिमा अझै यस्तै प्रोग्रामहरुमा बोलाऊ है
यस्तै प्रोग्राममा बोलाउँछु नि यस्तै प्रोग्राममा आइरहनु
म त आइरहन्छु
अनि ह्यापी दशैं
ह्यापी दशैं सबैलाई ह्यापी दशैं स्टे सेफ स्टे नेगेटिभ है तर लाइफमा चाहिँ पोजिटिभ तर कोरोनामा चाहिँ नेगेटिभ है यति भन्दै बाय बाय एभ्रीवन
Okay, thank you so much. Happy Dasai Vesh. अनि हाम्रो सुरज भाइको पर्फर्मेन्स छ सुरजलाई तिमीले पनि चिनेको छौ सो हेरेर जाऊ Okay, so next अपेक्षा
Next we have Suraj Raj Khatri with us. He is contestant 8 Voice of Nepal and he has such an attractive and heroic voice. So let's get here and welcome Suraj sir.
Hello. Hey, Sundasa. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Suraj.
Happy Dasai सबैजनालाई Happy Dasai सुप्रिमा दिदी सबैजनालाई अहिले को हुनुहुन्छ है यहाँ
Happy Dasai Suraj and good luck.
आज फेरि सुप्रिमा दिदीले बोलाएर है गीत गाउन आएको छु मैले दुईटा सङ गाउन लागिरहेको छु है यो फर्स्ट सङ चाहिँ नरेन लिम्बुको भन्न आउँदैन डिस्टर्ब त आएको छैन सुनिरहेको छ राम्रोसँग
सुनिरहेको छ
ए ओके तिमीलाई भन कसैमा तिम्रो बोली फुर्दैन तिमीलाई पोख कसरीमा तिम्रो सबै भेट्दिन मलाई भन्न आउँदैन मलाई भोग्न आउँदैन मलाई गर्न आउँदैन भावनाका कुरा मलाई भन्न आउँदैन मलाई भोग्न आउँदैन मलाई गर्न आउँदैन भावनाका कुरा हुनु कसरीमा तिम्रो कि शर्मै जान्छु म तिमीलाई पोखो कसरीमा तिम्रो कि स्तब्ध हुन्छु म मलाई भन्न आउँदैन मलाई बोक्न आउँदैन मलाई कोर्न आउँदैन भावनाका कुरा मलाई भन्न आउँदैन मलाई बोक्न आउँदैन मलाई कोर्न आउँदैन भावनाका कुरा मलाई भन्न आउँदैन मलाई बोक्न आउँदैन मलाई कोर्न आउँदैन भावनाका कुरा Thank you.
Thank you, Suraj. अर्को पनि गीत गाउँछौ?
अब यो सङ चाहिँ सबिन राईको तिमी नै हो तिमी नै हो मलाई माया गर्ने तिमी नै हो 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 हेर मलाई समय नछुटोस् हाम्रो दरिलो साथ देख्नेले देखोस् सुनोस् हाम्रो यो सम्बन्ध पश्चाताप छैन कुनै यहाँ खुसी छौ हामी छौ जहाँ भन्नेले भनोस् गरोस् हाम्रो बारे कुरा जति जे छ मेरो तिमी नै हो मलाई माया गर्ने तिमी नै हो 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 Timmy, 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 Timmy night. Oh, yeah. Timmy night. Thank you.
Beautiful, Suraj. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. फेरि पनि अर्को एउटा गीत गाउने हो कि?
हुन्छ
तिमीले दुईटा भनेको थियौ मैले एउटा एड गरे
हुन्छ एकैछिन है त कुन गाइहाल्नु फेरि सबिन राईकै गाउँछु म एकदम मलाई मन पर्छ मेरो फेभरेट छ सुन्दरताको तिमी उदाहरण हो बढीको तिमी एउटा नमुना हो सँगै छैन तिम्रो रूपमा ईश्वरको तिमी मलाई उपहार हो बराबरी तिम्रो आउनेको छ र परि पानीमा खान्छ के भरा तर होस् गर यो दुनियाँमा जहाँ सुन्दरताको आयु छोटो हुन्छ जहाँ जान्छौ तिमीलाई सफलताले चुमिरहोस् सधैँ तिम्रो भावनामा सधैँ उज्जवल विचार खिलिरहोस् सुन्दरताको तिमी उदाहरण हो परीको तिमी एउटा नमुना हो सँगै छैन तिम्रो रूपमा ईश्वरको तिमी मलाई उपहार हो Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much. It was so incredible. And wish you all the best for your coming future.
Thank you so much सबैजनालाई एकदम बेस्ट अफ लक जसले बेस्ट अफ लक सबैजनाले आफ्नो के गर्दै हुन्छ सबै जस यहाँ हेर्नुहुने सबैजनालाई अनि जस यो प्रोग्राममा पार्टिसिपेट हुनुभएको सबैजनालाई के भने अल द बेस्ट ह्याप्पी दसैँ
Happy Dasai, Suraj. Thank you so much.
Happy Dasai.
वेलकम ओके अब जाने बेला भयो है
तिम्रो भोइस एकदमै राम्रो छ किप इट अप तिमीले चाहिँ अझै धेरै सक्सेसफुल हुनु अझै यो सिंगिङलाई चाहिँ अझै अगाडि लानु अनि त्यसपछि वी विश टु सी यु एकदमै इमर्ज एज एन भेरी इमर्जिङ सिङ्गर थ्याङ्क यू सो मच सुरज एकछिन हामी एउटा सेल्फी लिन्छौँ अनि त्यसपछि जाऊ ओके Okay, I think selfie पनि भयो सुरज thank you so much happy दसैँ तिमीलाई and this is thank you so much again
है त ल इन्जोय गर्ने है ओके बाइ बाइ
बाइ सुरज
Now I request our campus director Mr. Jai Kishan Panjiar for the vote of thanks. And guys, please don't forget to fill the feedback form which will be provided after closing remarks.
Yeah, actually, thank you, Apeksha. So like actually, it's सबै हाम्रो नेपाली हो नि so I can talk नेपाली right. So like मैले चाहिँ closing remark prepare गरेको थिएँ like I should say this type but actually let's not be formal because you know like मैले चाहिँ के फिल गरेँ लाइक हाम्रो जुन हुन्छ नि दसैँ फेस्टिभलहरू सेलिब्रेट गर्ने मेथड लाइक खाने सुत्ने फ्यामिलीसँग हुन्छ लाइक लट्स अफ डिफ्रेन्ट वे बट दिस इज द न्यू थिङ्स के हाउ क्यान वी सेलिब्रेट दसैँ के वी आर द न्यू young generations and like future entrepreneurs like and responsible हामी so like we have to change our way of living actually like celebrates festivals can be also celebrated in this way like knowledge sharing गर्ने then have some panel discussion with them then have some music as well then if हामीले यस्तै हुन्छ नि like culture establish गर्यो भने I can guarantee like अघि ज्योति सरले भन्नुभएको थियो like 60% youth in Nepal so like those youth can really create impact so like guys I'm being out of topic but really like I think this is the like we have made an like a milestone in the history of the hunsan events like first time हुन्छ नि यस्तो दशैंको मेन दिन मेन इभेन्टमा यस्तो सेलिब्रिटिजहरुलाई बोलाएर more than 12 plus guests in a single day हुन्छ नि 4 hour को इभेन्टमा I feel like त्यो 4 घण्टाको and it should be like a 5 to 10 hours event but like हाम्रो एकदम so rigid time frame bhayera it was really hard for us and with that I would like to thanks like everyone Mr. Scott sir Mr. Arpana ma'am Saurabh sir Jingji ma'am Priya ma'am Barsha ma'am Mansi ma'am Ivana ma'am although they are not here so like Smita ma'am Saswa sir Suraj Raj sir Desra sir and Ayush sir thank you sir everyone for the like it was really awesome. Okay, like मेरो दसैँ साँच्चीकै एकदम दामी भयो. It was like a great day for me because like it was like 1 week को preparation थियो. Then see time to sing no actually no. So besides that, like like mainly I would like to thank Hall Prize at IU organizing team, okay, you guys like Suprema, Pekka, Biplab, Vivek, Anisa, and everyone here, okay, because Tepka, Vivek, without you guys, your event possible never, okay, like it wouldn't be possible, okay, and all the volunteers as well, like Vikrant, Kriti, and all other everyone, okay, because उनीहरूको valuable like contribution ले गर्दा we are here. And lastly, like our campus representatives, like I saw Navin dancing throughout the event. Yeah, he was like really enjoying the session. So like, thank you guys. Really, it was like really good. And I would like to, close my remarks. And announce the end of the Labor 4 session. And happy the site to everyone. Thank you guys. Thank you
So much,
everyone.
Jai Kishan Dai. Now,
Okay. Can you not sing like Jai Kisan Dai in the public events?
thank you, Jai Kishan.
Yeah. Thank you,
प्राइज एट आइओई को चाहिँ टिम रजिस्ट्रेसन फर्म चाहिँ खुलिसकेको छ नोभेम्बर 10 सम्म डेडलाइन छ प्लिज फर्म गर्नु होला सबैले लिंक चाहिँ इज गिवन इन च्याट बक्स
Yeah, guys, we have more events on the way. हरेक हप्ता चाहिँ हाम्रो इभेन्ट्सहरू भइरहेछ अन्टरप्रेन्योरशिप टक सिरिजको दिस इज द लेभल 4 एन्ड वी हेभ मोर लेभल्स है लाइक लेभल 5 6 7 8 अल्सो मेन्टरसिप सेसनहरू हुन्छ हाम्रो ट्रेनिङ सेसनहरू हुन्छ मेनी मोर थिङ्स टु कम के दिस इज जस्ट अ ट्रेलर है गाइज एन्ड वी हेभ लाइक अझै पनि हाम्रो क्युमा छ एन्ड किप सपोर्टिङ है गाइज बिकज विथआउट योर सपोर्ट हाम्रो इभेन्ट कहिले पनि सक्सेस हुन सक्दैन प्लिज एटेन्ड दिस इभेन्ट्स एन्ड प्लिज बी लाइक मोर इन्गेजिङ एन्ड थ्याङ्क्स.
Stay connected with us through our social media page too.
Yeah, exactly. Social media page, our website, and please register because it's like Hall Prize is a global community. Like, so being a part of that is like a lifetime opportunity. So I would like recommend everyone to register. Like idea boy, pani no boy, pani please register. In the registration process, make an idea emerge on us, like because they are refining process or lots of process or okay. So guys, please register everyone. And if you are not like in the mood of resting, then our lab information spread garnu like in the different IE colleges. Thank you guys.
Feedback from I request Vivek Dai to send feedback from here.
Again Vivek Dai. Oh, Suprema, please sing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Suprema.
Yeah, Anchor, please sing.
Please sing. She's awesome singer.
Moderator पनि.
I have.
गाउँथे के तर मलाई कस्तो खोकी लागिरहेछ
सुप्रिमा अनि नवीन जोशी सेकेन्ड
Club Night's turn.
Only भजन गाउँछ भजन.
सुप्रिमा स्टार्ट
कुन गीत गाउँ त
योर चोइस एनी
ओके
कमरिया
मेरो फेभरेट गीत नै गाइदिन्छु है कतिजनाले सुनि पनि सक्नुभयो होला लग जा गले के फिर ये हंसी रात हो ना हो शायद फिर इस जन्म में मुलाकात हो ना हो लग जा गले के फिर ये हंसी रात हो ना हो शायद फिर इस जन्म मुलाकात हो ना हो हमको मिली है आज ये घड़ियां नसीब से जी भर के देख लीजिए हमको करीब से फिर आपके नसीब में ये बात हो ना हो, शायद फिर इस जन्म में मुलाकात हो ना हो, लग जा गले. Thank you.
We'll sing next.
Yeah. हामीसँग अर्को एकजना सिङ्गर चाहिँ अर्गेनिक टिमकै अन्जिल इज अल्सो अ सिङ्गर.
Anjil,
bro.
Anjil.
At my Anjil, one song for OCA.
नलजाऊ न अन्जिल.
Background noise can.
हामी ब्याकग्राउन्ड नोइजलाई नै इग्नोर गरेर तिम्रो आवाज सुन्छौँ नि त.
Exactly. अन्जिल पहिला अन त गर, अनम्युट त गर, त्यसपछि ब्याकग्राउन्ड पछि.
We want Anjil. We want Anjil.
Anjil. Anjil bro.
Why not Biplav?
Navin. Navin
Why
just
not
start.
Biplav? Why not Biplav?
Navin
Why
start.
not Jai Kishan Pandyar? Why not Vivek Malik? Why not Apeksha? Why not anyone?
Navin Joshi co-host बनाइहाल छिटो.
Navin Joshi next you are it.
Navin Joshi, please.
ल co-host बनाइहाल.
ल you are co-host Navin.
ल start Navin. Okay. 1 2 3 start.
गाउने पर्ने हो र?
गाउने हो के? गाउने पर्छ. नगायो भने सिआरबाट फेरि